bullshit.
Commander, you sing with such fervor. Such a voice would win over any woman.
Details, details. Pay more attention. Civilization. Those scholars and philosophers only taught formulas, not survival. These so-called big shots, all refined and polite with their manners and decorum. But the moment they smell profit, they'll show you what real civilization looks like.
Don't you think that the violence you believe in is incompatible with the opera that you love?
Bullshit. Violence is the oldest opera in the sun. He whose blade is sharpest, whose magazine runs deepest, is the one who sings the sweetest. You've got 10 seconds to open this door for me. You shouldn't have trusted me. I don't trust anyone.
My hands are sweating. All right. Hi, Operator. I'm Gabriel Mercier, codename N2. Since we'll be fighting side by side, allow me to properly introduce myself. As the codename suggests, my combat style leans towards cryogenic suppression. My frost launcher paired with a cryo flask can quickly force enemies into a frost state, ensuring they pose no threat to us. If enemy positions are unknown, the homing stun grenade can precisely mark them as well. Right now, I'm in the middle of a critical operation. One where failure is not an option. I hope this mission can make up for some of my past mistakes, even if just a little. Mission target zone, AZ-3, Asara's only source of nuclear power. The plant's power output is spiking abnormally. This time, I won't let it happen again. An emergency shutdown is our only chance, but the risk is extreme. We not only have to breach Havoc's heavy defenses, we have to face lethal radiation head-on. Some containers within AZ-3 have already been contaminated by radiation. You can follow distinctive sounds to locate them, but keep a close eye on your own radiation levels. Radiation is divided into 4 levels, each causing different effects. Accumulated radiation can be cleared by leaving the contaminated zone and using decon chambers or mobile decon units. During the incident, some personnel lost their access keys. We can use these keys to infiltrate the classified zones and gather intel and supplies.
Key verified. Access granted. AZ-3 key detected.
That's not all. Severe leaks have occurred across multiple sections of the plant. You can choose to endure radiation exposure and enter these zones for high-value supplies and rare data, or stay clear. The choice is yours. Havoc has deployed a large number of purification soldiers at AZ-3. Once your position is exposed, heavy purifiers will apply debuffs like corrosion and slow movement, but attacking the weak spot on their back can neutralize them quickly. An even tougher threat comes from the relink agents. H-1000 personally leads H-47, H-800, and other agents to guard the facility. All of them connected through Skynet. They're extremely persistent. Stay on maximum alert. One final thing. If we do manage to shut down all the nuclear facilities, something unexpected might happen.
Disabling attention. All AZ-3 terminals disabled.
Of course, the nuclear plant has new collectibles too. Over in warfare, things are heating up. The flames of war have reached the weathered stone walls of the Colosseum. This 1,000-year-old city is sliding toward ruination. We've got new weapons. The RM-277 assault rifle excels at sustained suppressive fire, most effective from medium to long range. The SVCH Marksman Rifle is capable of taking down enemies in one shot at long range. There are also some bonus events coming up. Play Ole 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 to earn points and exchange them for sports-themed rewards and exclusive avatars. The Meltdown Season Pass includes various tactical supplies, including a new outfit for Tempest. The new season's Mandelbricks can yield the AKM Assault Rifle. Astromancy skin. Not bad. Opening Turbricks gives you a chance at the Law of Time series collectible charms. Good luck. A new melee weapon, Elegant, the exclusive weapon of the Abyss Shark Reese. Pretty cool. Oh, and don't forget, the Rainbow Six Siege crossover is launching soon too. 3 new operator skins. Black Ice weapon skins and special collectibles. Now that's something. Covers the main updates for the Meltdown season. Don't mess this up. Don't mess this up.
Hi everyone, I'm William, the art director of Delta Force. As many of you may already seen, Delta Force is launching a collaboration with Rainbow Six Siege in our next season. Since launch, we've seen a lot of passion and discussion from our community around the tactical shooter gameplay. And whenever players talk about the genre, Rainbow Six Siege is one of the names that come up most often. So, we reach out to Ubisoft.
Bonjour, je suis Émilie Besson, directrice de la réalisation sur Rainbow Six Siege. Oui, Siege a toujours été défini par son gameplay tactique, le travail en équipe et aussi la variété des opérateurs que les joueurs ont appris à connaître et reconnaître au fil des années. Ces collaborations nous donnent l'occasion en fait d'amener les éléments emblématiques de Siege dans un nouvel univers tout en restant fidèle à ce qui les rend uniques.
In this collaboration, we focus on 2 things: operators and the Rainbow Six Siege's iconic visual legacy. We selected 3 operators pairings who share the same combat philosophy.
I'll be there you need me. 말보다는 행동이지. Call if you need a hand.
For classic Siege elements, we choose to honor Black Ice, the Drone, and the Alpha Pack.
Ce qui était essentiel pour nous de préserver dans la collaboration, c'était l'identité, l'authenticité de nos personnages. C'est ce qui les rend uniques. On a travaillé main dans la main avec l'équipe de Delta Force pour s'assurer que l'authenticité de Siege, l'identité de Siege s'intègre naturellement dans leur jeu.
Both games share a realistic art direction, and finding distinct recognition within that shared aesthetic was actually the harder challenge. We started by preserving the core silhouette and the color framework of Siege operators. Doc and Motin's iconic deep navy uniforms, Vigil's signature custom-fitted gear, these stay true. At the same time, within the finer details, we evolve in Delta Force identity. They wear patches from both teams. Motin carries Cineva's badge. Doc has medical kits at his side. To faithfully recreate Black Ice, we focused our material work on internal ice fracture patterns to capture the distinctive texture and cold, austere feel of original.
Oui, en effet, Black Ice résonne énormément avec notre communauté. C'est une cosmétique d'armes qui a énormément plu à nos joueurs. Et l'équipe de Delta Force a fait vraiment un travail incroyable pour la recréation dans leur jeu de cette cosmétique, avec un souci du détail extrêmement gratifiant.
We employed a dual-layer material system combined with subsurface scattering lighting model. Using camera vectors and a depth texture to offset UV calculations, we achieved effect of refracture patterns appearing to exist deep inside ice.
Et ce qu'on a apprécié et ce qui nous a impressionné, c'est le travail de recherche de Delta Force. À quel point ils ont été soucieux du détail pour conserver nos opérateurs dans leur jeu, qui s'intègrent vraiment comme naturellement dans leur univers.
Beyond the content itself, we want as many players as possible to access and experience this collaboration. By completing in-game missions during the season, you can unlock these rewards for free. One more thing, in the new operations map, we will prepare something special for you. You will find a surprise in the maps that are meant just for you. Once the crossover goes live, go find them. Once more, onto the bridge.
Dear friends, once more.
Telemetry data confirms the Havoc rocket formation has deviated from its flight path and is currently plummeting toward Claudia. All units clear the area immediately and secure the wreckage.
Still a chance if I can freeze them!
Maintain suppressive fire!
Time waits for no one. I was once lost in the fires of war, surrounded by ruin and fracture. Only in hindsight did I realize everything reaches its destined end. Every moment that has passed is a relic worth keeping.
Received an emergency transmission from Hadawi, a Havoc nuclear engineer. Patching through.
This is AZ-3 facility. Reactor 2 has been sabotaged. Havoc internal forces can't handle this threat anymore. You're all I've got left.
Running blind on intel for the AO. But this region is at high risk of a nuclear incident. Keep the following in mind. Shoot, loot, then time to scoop.
The signal is clear. Take action. It's okay here. Not too cold.
Experiment 66 is projected to conclude in T-minus 3 hours. All units submit safety risk assessments on schedule.
I've got a reading.
No hazmat suits? Raise him!
Let's make it quick!
Enjoy the bomb!
So eager to die. Excellent.
I don't know what's happening, but reactor output is still climbing. And security thinks I'm behind this. They're coming for me. GTI, move it, now!
Key verified. Access granted.
Hostile signal detected. Lethal action authorized.
Damn it! Someone take control of this piece of junk!
Entering manual mode. Executing command.
Those bastards in fusion research won't authorize shutdown because of their experiment timeline. I know better than anyone how important this research is. Hold this position. Once I finish calibration, use that console to insert the control rods immediately. Data set. Follow me. I know somewhere the signal can get through.
Steam explosion at Reactor 2. Incident level confirmed. INCS scale 5. Estimated contamination radius.
Careful! Don't fall! We're outside the signal blackout zone. Upload the data package to Skynet immediately. Encryption keys in the archive. Just send it!
Critical alert. Reactor power output has critically exceeded safety threshold. Core meltdown imminent. All personnel evacuate immediately. Priority alert. Hydrogen explosion at Reactor 2. Incident level confirmed. INCS scale 7. Major accident. All personnel evacuate beyond contamination zone immediately. Estimated spread radius 3.7 kilometers. Correction, 9.2 kilometers. Correction, 24.9 kilometers. Correction, 45.3 kilometers. Correction, 79.8 kilometers. For critical state.
Take a break. I'll take it.
Snowman. Pretty cold.
They once believed themselves to be eternal stars in their own worlds. Burning without restraint, expanding without order. And that chaos, they called it freedom. But all of it was nothing more than flaws in the fabric of the universe. I too once basked in daylight, believing kindness defined the limits of this world. But I was wrong. If they choose chaos, if humanity is riddled with corruption, then let judgment descend. I am the warden of the abyss and the tyrant of the endless night. Struggle. Scream. Within this prison, even the noblest stars must yield to the gravity of order. The stars have returned to their rightful places.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome into the Time to Rise Showmatch. It's number 2. We had one yesterday. It's Pro Scrims Day and no Zywoo today. We had a lot of fun yesterday with our Time to Rise Showmatch number 1. Zywoo was featured. He had Reds all day. He had the AWM all day, and it was a blast. But we've got all pro teams today. It's going to be our full competitive format, showcasing the Rise series with the new rules. So much fun. My name is Goj. I'm going to be your host and caster today. As per the usual, really excited to be back with Delta Force, and I got to bring back my main man, Vivid, going to be casting with me yet again. Dude, you excited for some more Pro Scrims?
Super excited. I think one of the big points yesterday for us, Goj, was that, you know, we kind of expected these teams to get better and better as we kind of, you know, check them out in each one of their scrim sessions, and the fact that we kind of get to rejoin ourselves and then all of the Delta Force community as well, to just see what these guys can kind of cook up in just a 1 day span. I think it's going to be super exciting to just kind of see how these teams are going to get better. And we of course have also made the point, this leads into the competitive season itself in just a little while. So man, everything's starting to kind of come together in terms of the pieces of the competitive scene here, and I'm excited.
Yeah, yesterday was kind of the first peek through the window of what's going to be the competitive series, like you said. Today is going to be kind of like the doors cracking open a little bit. You can start walking in and seeing what's going on, because full pro scrims, no different or changed rules. It is just straight up raw competitive gameplay, which is going to be a ton of fun. Let's talk about that gameplay, though. Some of you are very new to this scene or haven't seen some of the changes that have happened for the Rise series in particular. So I want to walk through these pretty extensively before our game gets started. First and foremost, if you have watched the competitive scene in the past, our players are starting with a bit more money, 1.5 mil in total in Technic Alloy per player. And just like public lobbies, if you do die, you lose your gear, which means people's score could technically go down. We'll talk about that score in a second. Another big change, we are playing on Season Echo, which is exciting. We've got Morse into our operator pool now, which is fun. And then as a reminder too, with the way our leaderboard works, there's a bunch of different ways you can earn points, from the total assets you have to the amount of kills you've picked up. At the end of the day, the teams are ranked by metal bricks captured, then by the total assets or the total points that they have. So first mantle bricks, then we go to the points. And if a team captures 2 mantle bricks at any time, whether that's in round 2 and 4, or if it goes all the way to 7, they will win today's competition and all competitions in the future. Now, the way it works too is slight differences is that round 1 and 2 and 3 all have airdrops. Round 2 will have both an airdrop and a mantle brick, which is new to the scene. And it is only round 7 where our team in last can choose what map we're playing. We'll talk about that in a moment. And then finally, a rule that is very unique to our competitive scene is that each of our operators can only be used a total of 2 times by the entire team. If you run double Nox, wherever that may be, whether that's Tide Prison or otherwise, you cannot run Nox ever again. So that's how that works. If we do go to game 7, of course, everything is reset and you can use whichever operators you would like, still within that 2 operator limit though. Now, I mean, looking at these rules, I think, again, 1.5 million, this makes sense. 3x3 safe bucks they can also use. That is for free in this competition. That'll be useful, especially for dog tags in later rounds or whatever reds you can find. And finally, all players are given a 12-slot card holder that covers all the bases they need to get around each of the maps with their cards. There's other ways that they earn resources. The biggest one that is worth mentioning is kills. Kills not only give them points on our leaderboard, it also gives them an automatic 800,000 Technic Alloy per kill that is auto-compensated to their accounts. So you can walk out extremely rich, even if you don't extract, if you're able to get a ton of kills on the map. That's how it all works. Pretty simple. And there's other ways that they get extra money just in case they're losing a bunch in a row. There's a couple extra resources just so they're not totally broke going into the next round. But talking about the mantle bricks, the name of the game, the purpose of this competition, you gotta get them. This is how you do it. Vivid, walk me through this.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it all day yesterday, and it's all, like Goj mentioned, it's all about the mana brick. So exactly what is going to be the objective here? Obviously, you want to pick up the mana brick, you want to go ahead and decode it, just like you can kind of do in public matches. Obviously, in the competitive scene here, the mana bricks are become available shortly after the match starts. Pretty much what that prevents is anybody that spawns in closest to the mana brick, it kind of prevents them having that instant access to the mana brick. So they are going to have to wait just a little bit of time before they can actually pick it up. Once a mana brick has then been picked up, the squad that obviously has picked it up has 5 minutes to place it at a decoding station, or it will reset. For, you know, reasons such as a squad kind of just playing to deny the mana brick from every single one of our other teams by just kind of like hiding in some corner or some nuanced spot. Obviously, we got to go ahead and make sure that it does reset if that specific team does hold on to it for too long, which, by the way, I don't think we have really ever seen happen. Pretty rare for that one. And then once a mana brick is taken over to a decoding station, a 4-minute timer will start. If that 4-minute timer is not interrupted by another team, then hey, the team that put it in, they win. However, if a team does interrupt it by going up to the station and pretty much stealing it, the timer resets and is reduced by 30 seconds. So let's say a team walks up to the decoding station after it's been 3 minutes that's gone by, so there's 1 minute left for that decode to come through. Team steals it, it will go all the way back up to 3 minutes and 30 seconds for the team that went ahead and stole it. And that 30 seconds will continue to be removed from the total amount of timer that it takes to decode, all the way down to 1 minute and 30 seconds. So 90 seconds is going to be our minimum right there. And then, of course, if the squad that is decoding the Mando brick actually gets eliminated, the countdown will pause. So kind of two ways you can kind of play around the decoding station, right? You can obviously go up to the station itself and steal it, or you could just kind of set your eyes and your sights on the team that's decoding, take them out, and the countdown will stop.
Thank you so much for the breakdown, Vivid. It was a great one. And the Mana Brick rules are really important. We'll continue to remind you of those while we're in the competition as well, and in those rounds that do have Mana Brick, because we will not be starting with the Mana Brick round. We'll talk a little bit about that here in shortly. But let's talk about the teams. You're going to see a lot of familiar faces if you watched yesterday's competition. We've got a lot of returning rosters from yesterday with a slight change. With ZywOo done in the competitive scene for a little while at the very least, I'm sure we'll have him back in the future. Team Nadeshot is joining us, much like Team Gotaga was able to put on a show yesterday with Gotaga watching. We do have Team Nadeshot competing today. Smile, Chris slept, had a chance to talk to these guys quite a bit ever since they did qualify for the Pro League through the Nadeshot qualifier, earned that Nadeshot team title, and earned that team slot. These guys are good, man, and they are icy. There was a crazy competition. They were able to take down some of the best teams in the game, including teams before they were signed, like Spacestation Gaming. We're able to beat them out in that competition. So I'm expecting great things from Team Nadeshot. They've got a great coach as well. Prophet, big shout out to him. It'll be fun to watch them compete again. But talk to me about some of these other teams that we saw yesterday. Maybe there's folks at home that are tuning in for the very first time, missed yesterday's competition. What should we expect from some of these other rosters here, Vivid?
I mean, what we should expect is a very close competition in general throughout the course of the day, because the scrims that we ran yesterday went all the way to match number 7. Every single one of the games that had a mana break ended up getting, decoded by a separate team all the way down until that last one, in which Team Gotaga there, Vlad, who we of course got an opportunity to talk to at the end of the day yesterday and pretty much just spewed confidence, by the way. Team Gotaga, they clutch up match number 6. Match number 7 is when they were able to pick up both of their mana bricks. So they had 0 going into that. And we were kind of talking to Vlad, and we were like, hey, what's kind of your mental state going into, match number 6? And you guys don't have a mana break. And he's like, listen, we're a good team. Of course, we're going to eventually get a mana break. So my eyes are, of course, going to be peeled on Team Gotaga throughout the day. I think Alliance also was a team that we need to look out for today, because yesterday they were pretty much the team that picked up the most kills, and they were also the team that had the mana brick from the get-go. They were the first ones to kind of decode one in game number 2. So a couple of teams, but all 6 of them, keep your eyes on all of them.
Yeah, it's a great shot. Let's talk a little bit about the maps, though, and I think in particular what we can expect. Things are a little bit different from earlier competitive series, but the exact same as yesterday. Going to be in Zero Dam. We're going to go to Brackish, Tide Prison, Space City until we finish, except when we get to round 7, the team in last place gets to pick, and if they decide to pick between Brackish and Space City and they pick Brackish, that Brackish map will have a airdrop as well, just like it does in round 2. So that's a small change, as well as on round 3, we will 100% go to Tide Prison no matter what. So that's how the map rotation works. We'll be kicking things off in Zero Dam with what we call an eco round, a chance for the players to get their feet underneath them and get some money up. Quickly, though, I think before we get in today's competition, there's still a few more things to discuss. And one of those things, Vivid, is that I do want to take a look back on what happened yesterday, because we've got 5 out of the 6 teams that played yesterday returning. And like you mentioned, it was a banger. Team Gotaga was able to clutch up 2 rounds back-to-back to clutch things up in the final hour. And it started at the beginning, though. We didn't really talk too much about them. It was Alliance's tourney all day. They put up crazy numbers. And we did see Spacestation Gaming get a mana break. We saw a lot of teams get a mana break. But it felt like Alliance was in complete control of the competition until ZywOo started, well, just doing stuff like this. Hitting headshots left, right, and center. And also some quick shots around the corner. Really impressive stuff from ZywOo. And I thought Alliance had this one in the bag. And then all of a sudden, Team Gotaga just came alive at the end. Golly.
Yeah, absolutely. We actually almost ended early right there. I think it was, match number 5. And then Faze kind of jumped in, stole that decode away from Alliance. And Progressing through here, we're on match number 6 in this specific replay, and this is where, like you mentioned, just ended up being all Team Gotaga. The initial decode in match number 6 didn't end up being contested because like all 5 teams, other teams kind of swarmed to the code station at the same exact time. And match number 6 was a little bit similar, but not necessarily as much. As you can see, Team Gotaga, SSG, and Alliance were the 3 last remaining teams in our final match of the day. And when the dust had settled, it was all Team Gotaga. They just played so well. By the way, in these final moments, we're a duo kind of just hiding away and just playing the angles, the fact that they had a decoding station. So just smart plays all around, great plays all around. And then it was great to have Zio yesterday. Those individual plays kind of transferring over to a new game, man. It's so cool to see, you know, the competitive ceiling of some of these guys.
Yeah, exactly. And again, to further emphasize this point, Zaiwu went bonkers yesterday. It was so much fun to watch him with the AWM. That was so deadly in his hands. He did have a couple little special rules on his side. He had red items. He had the the entire time, which was a lot of fun to watch. It kind of changed up our competitive scene. Today, though, this is going to be just like the Rise series. This is going to be the exact same rule set that they're used to playing over there. Slight changes that we've already mentioned, and there's a few more we'll talk about throughout the course of today's show. If you watched yesterday, you'll hear some repeats of some of that info. But it's time to jump straight into the gameplay. So we'll talk a little bit about some of those changes, and one that may matter in this map, folks. We're going into Zero Dam. It's eco rounds. Every single map we played today is 18 minutes. That is normal. The one thing that has changed, though, we'll keep talking about this, is there are new ways for you to get gold level armor and gear through something called these specialty wood sculptures. These wood sculptures are things that you can collect by defeating bosses, doing special missions on each of the maps, and you can exchange those with some extra Technic Alloy being bought for these exchange tickets. You can exchange those for gold tier armor. It's really important because you can get it much sooner than we used to be able to get it in the past. And Vivid, one way that the teams can do that is by doing the wall breaker mission on Zero Dam. So if you see these little wood sculptures pop up on the right-hand side, that can technically be used to exchange it for gold armor.
Yeah, keep a close eye on the meta break, but also keep a close eye on some of those supply drops. Of course, Zero Dam being the first match of the day, there is not going to be a Mando brick featured, but plenty of opportunity for our teams to go ahead and pick up some value and establish an economy. And just like that, we are jumping straight into things, and my eyes are always peeled towards the admin area whenever we are on Zero Dam, because I want to know which 2 teams are going to be going head to head right off the bat, and it looks like it's going to be SSG and Team Gotaga.
In the meanwhile, by the way, Faze already picks up almost $500,000 with the red item off screen over there in Cement Plant. So nice find from Faze. Again, Faze were kind of like the team yesterday that unfortunately found themselves near the bottom of the leaderboard, but they were the ones that were kind of the saviors for the entire lobby. As it looks like Saeed's getting a bit of a comeuppance here, finally able to find a knock from our NPCs on main, but the boss able to trade one out, and SSG will get to the boss first. So that is some nice loot value that they should be able to find on Saeed himself. And with that, maybe a small advantage going into some of these engagements. And already we're seeing a fight on main as Nadeshot's team caught in transition around Substation. Lynx, Alliance, strike first. They were some of our top fraggers yesterday, already fragging out today.
No surprise there. They're going to be getting into the mix, and this is actually a little bit of a rare one because typically we do see some of the teams that spawn over to the east side or the southeast side. They actually typically usually rotate pretty late as a result of kind of where their spawn is. But yeah, immediately kind of getting into the mix, and that's going to be putting Nadeshot's team on the back foot here, right? Left as a duo. And listen, if you're a duo, the one team that I feel like I wouldn't want to go up against is Team Alliance because they were so good yesterday on the frags. You can see Easy on the Stinger right here, trying to make something happen, trying to go ahead and find the angle. As his teammates are actually getting a great wrap. You can see Grind all the way over there by that main building. He's going to have a great angle if he opts to choose to use it.
A good shout. It's a big fight here, and something that Team Nadeshot desperately needs to kick things off well. Off screen, by the way, it does look like Faze and FLC are in an engagement up at Barracks. Check in when we can. We got to pay attention to what happens with this Nadeshot team. Alliance are taking this very slow, patient, and finally finding the angles. Down goes Slep. Down goes Team Nadeshot. They are out of this lobby immediately. A rude awakening for the boys, but I'm sure they'll be able to bounce back. The only team that didn't play yesterday gets jumped immediately. And once they lose one, it's blood in the water until Alliance can wipe them all, and that's exactly what happened. Let's take a look, though, at where FLC's at and what's going on with FaZe. They got into a small engagement, and they've lost Kobe, it looks like, just outside of barracks. They don't seem too concerned. They're looting up right now, so we'll check in with them more, I'm sure. Take a look top middle as well. Oh, Bot's got some shots in, but FaZe is moving. There they are. Look at the map feed. Top left of your screen. Barracks is about to get real mixy. They should hear the footsteps coming forward as well, and they do. Salawa finds an angle to at least try to throw some damage down, but this is going to be a 2v3 for FLC. It's going to be a tough fight, Vivid.
Yeah, absolutely. Honestly, it's usually pretty hard to go ahead and push this building, but FaZe is having no trouble doing just so. Solo is going to be on the back foot. Very low HP, and the trade does come in from Snows right there. Great job kind of using the space created by Dio God to go ahead and take the advantage where they possibly could. So two of our teams actually wiped off the map instantly on Zero Dam, and this was a little bit different than kind of what we saw yesterday. The fights didn't really come in for quite some time, but with two teams already being removed from the map, it's going to give a lot of opportunities for some of our teams to just kind of like loot up. And the shots that were ringing over at barracks might have been a giant becking call to the team of SSG. They might want to kind of peek around the corner and see if they can kind of find anything. And take a look at Snows. He's actually pushed up, potentially aware of the potential of a little bit of a counter push here. But I think he is going to be opting to go ahead and back up to his team and play a little bit safer.
Yeah, and that Raptor drone came in. They know exactly where FaZe is at, and it looks like FaZe can return a drone their direction. It's pretty classic, by the way. We don't talk too much about operator metas, especially in the first map in Eco Round and Zero Dam, but you'll see just about every single team running a Raptor just because there's so much open space on Zero Dam, and you can pick up people in rotation very easily. Again, a quick note about these Eco Rounds, there are airdrops, and Alliance has won the airdrop location. Fighting against Nade early at Substation, they're able to get this first airdrop. This is going to be extremely valuable for them. There's two airdrops that drop. One will drop a bunch of red items. The other one, which is the one you're seeing on your screen, will drop that Lapua ammo and will drop an AWM. They can utilize that sniper, of course, in future rounds. Traditionally speaking, a team that gets the AWM isn't keen to use, they only get 5 bullets, isn't keen to use those in this map. Traditionally wants to save those for future rounds, especially Mantle Brick rounds. So you may even see the team or the player that gets AWM may actually send themselves out of the lobby early, leave the other 2 players onto the map to play spoiler, go for kills, etc.
What can we expect for the remainder of the 12 minutes on Zero Dam here? Again, 2 teams have already been eliminated. We did go ahead and mention the importance of the contract, right? The wall breaker contract. It actually does look like, I'm getting some information on the side over here. SSG have actually gone ahead and picked up the wall breaker contract. They sent kills all over there to the center to go ahead and do that. You can see they're trying to be a little bit careful because they are aware of FaZe in the barracks, but feel a little bit comfortable to go ahead and activate the contract itself. So push it over to the wall breaker to see if they can go ahead and complete it. Will obviously be on the checklist for the team of SSG. But as our teams kind of start to converge here towards the admin area, this is very, very typical for what we see on the competitive esports side of Delta Force, because on the Zero Dam map, if you take a look all the way to the east and all the way to the west, you can see those normal extracts that we are all used to kind of using in public matches are actually not available. You're very limited in terms of the extracts that you can take when you're on the Zero Dam map. The conditionals are still up, right? Like no backpack or the weight limited one. You can still pull the switch in the admin building. Then you can also use the one that takes 40,000 alloy all the way down toward the southern side of the map. But obviously the easiest one for a lot of our teams to access is going to be the elevator switch, which is why we're going to see all of our teams kind of converge on this area, because they're going to start to think about extracting soon.
Yeah, good shout. Should be able to fight each other here shortly, playing for this extract. Second airdrop landing pretty soon as well, so that'll be some nice reds. In the meantime, by the way, take a look at the left side of your screen. You can see not only the operators in our amazing overlay, as it does look like Team Gotaga and SSG have spotted each other, but also it shows you their current profits on the map. Alliance with the biggest profits, of course, because of that airdrop. But FaZe have found 2.7 mil on the map. Some of that is coming from the gear they found off of the wipe they got on FLC, but we've seen several reds pop up for them. They've been pretty lucky in some of their finds on this map.
All right, looks like SSG successfully able to run all the way over to the wall breaker. Will be a little bit scary to kind of send any more than just one member of their team into the vault itself. So obviously you want to go ahead and maintain some position outside of it. Team like Team Gotaga would potentially be interested in pushing in there and kind of keeping them inside. But actually Team Gotaga are doing exactly what I was kind of talking about prior to this. Setting up for the extract 10 minutes early, pretty much, right? The Shepherd's going to be finding incredible value there, and they're just going to be limiting all of those access points. And already those reds are starting to fly in for the team of SSG that are, of course, down in the wallbreaker contract, but all the way to the southern side of the map with that airdrop incoming in 25 seconds. Team Alliance and Team Faze are interested in fighting over this.
Yeah, some nice finds in wallbreaker, like you mentioned, and this is going to be a big fight. Again, there's a lot of reds inside of the second airdrop traditionally, so I think this fight's going to be pretty important. And also, too, I mean, you even think of a team like FLC. They get wiped immediately, but they at least traded 1 kill out. That's 800k that's added, plus the extra per round compensation you just get. It's still a decent bit of money. So it's helpful to have even just a kill or 2 on the map. It looks like you may see that pop off, even in Zero Dam. This Lynx takes quite a bit of damage, but it's going to heal back up.
Yeah, personally wouldn't mind the investment of a couple of bullets here from the side of Alliance to secure the secondary airdrop. It has landed, but right now it's obviously just going to be all about the fight. And taking a look at the bottom of the screen, Lynx has 4 bullets loaded. I'm not sure if he used one or kind of is just keeping one of them tucked away in his safe box, or is...
I think he took a shot.
Yeah, he might have took a shot. Obviously, he did take a lot of damage. His armor got broken about 30 seconds ago when we did see him pretty low. So I would imagine he tried to go ahead and return fire. But if he did go ahead and take a shot, I mean, one of the things that we actually got to talk to Vlad about yesterday from Team Gotaga was that any time that he kind of heard the he of course knew yesterday that it was Zywoo. But of course, if you also hear the on a map like this, you know the team that you're going to be going up against is going to be pretty scary.
Yeah. I agree. I think if you hear the shoot, you might need to back up. Hey, there's those wooden sculptures we're talking about there on the far right-hand side. Yes, they're only worth 1 technicality because you can't buy them. Got to get them from either specialty missions in-map or the boss drops. So they'll be able to use, if they get a couple more of those, they'll be able to use those to exchange for gold gear. Pretty important.
Big push, actually, from Faze. Grind was actually all by himself towards a small substation over here, and he's actually put down some great covering shots, but I think on the way out here, they should feel pretty confident. Oh, great shot from Lynx, spewing some of that confidence over. 3 shots remaining, but only 2 members left of Faze. Could Lynx go ahead and pick up the 3-piece with just the in hand, man? But the Toxic ult, the defensive ult from the side of Faze is going to go ahead and delay the push from the side of Alliance, but remember, that res is going to be extremely long, so the pressure is going to fly in from Alliance.
Yeah, they hear that res popping, and they need a full send, and they do. As they swing, Faze still has not been able to get up their player because they hear the impending footsteps of Alliance. Alliance are hunting for more, especially with Sniper and Ham. They're not afraid to use these bullets in Zero Dam, which is a bit surprising, and he gets it. That's the 2nd kill. These are well worth it. All of Faze go down. Alliance yet again stand tall with 6 eliminations in the very first map of the day. Talk about an aggressive team. Talk about a team that is here to make a statement. Yesterday, they were in charge all the way until map 6 and then map 7. But otherwise, they were leading the pack. And today, they're looking to start things off in the same form and fashion and hopefully carried it forward all to the finish line. That's crazy. I mean, look, Yam gives you so much advantages in the middle of this first map. And you were fighting over the airdrop, so these are well worth it. I mean, each of the shots they're shooting are like 100 grand each. Like, each bullet is ridiculously expensive. But it's well worth it based on the loot you're able to get, which is not only taking away value from a team like Faze because they lose their gear upon dying, winning the airdrop, which you can see was nearly $1 million in total and all the loot they pulled from it. And every kill you get is 800k on top of it. It really incentivizes our new format to fight in Zero Dam. And that's exactly what Alliance is doing.
I mean, Alliance just kind of continuing with the trend that we saw coming out of them yesterday. The main objective just always feeling like it's kills. 6 kills already on the 0 dam. But one of the most important things about Delta Force is you have to extract. We already kind of talked about it. There are a bunch of conditionals around the map of 0 dam that you're kind of forced to take in a competitive setting. With only 5 minutes remaining, you can see SSG on your screen are interested in going ahead and pulling the switch. However, Team Gotaga are currently camping on the actual extraction point. But obviously, SSG or Team Alliance is going to have to eventually push in if they want to get their whole team out. But each of those teams could also opt to send a single person of their team to one of those conditionals, whether it be the backpack or the weight limited one. And I feel like that might be what Alliance does, especially when the Almond Hand, they want to go ahead and secure that for some of the following rounds. So they might send Lynx out. So we'll have to keep a close eye on where he in particular rotates. And watching the map right here, it looks like Lynx is actually running through the red crate, and they're going to start running towards the extract. And this is where the Raptor is going to come into play for sure. Because all the information from the side of Alliance has to be found right here before they get called out in the open.
Patience is a virtue always when it comes to Delta Force operations, but now there's a timer, not only on the map in game, but also on this damn lever extraction. 3 minutes and 7 seconds. It's up there by the mini-map. Kind of small if you're on mobile. 3 minutes on the clock if you want to take the lever extraction. 3 minutes and 40 seconds on the game clock. Looks like everybody's going to be playing for this extraction point, and right now Alliance are trying to rotate over from the right-hand side. There's a decent bit of cover over here. If they can get a knock on skies, it could open things up for their rotation towards the extract. But of course, we know there's a third team there as well.
I'm a little worried for Team Alliance right now because they obviously know that Team SSG were the team that pulled the switch because they're inside the admin building. So they might be thinking to themselves right now, they haven't actually made it in, but Grind's going to be caught out in the open right there. Quick thinking, quick on his feet. He's going to be able to run behind the truck and go ahead and wait for some of the heals to come in. But Killzall is going to be coming around from the other side. A great play from the Noxalt right there is going to be finding Grind out in the open. And now it's going to be a 3v2 on the outside of the extract. But always remember, Team Gotaga is going to be waiting in the wings, hoping that just a unsuspecting team of 3 runs into their sight lines. Oh my gosh, Killzall with almost a devastating mistake right there. Kind of got caught in the window, took a little bit of damage, but was quick on his feet. Enough so to go ahead and duck and cover. But yeah, Team Alliance still going to be under heavy fire, and I don't know why they're kind of peeking some of these angles right now. You know Killzall's kind of in the warehouse. The question is going to be, Goj, what are SSG going to do? Are they going to go ahead and opt to just push these guys? They've got a pretty strong position right now.
This would be a big win. A reminder, Alliance has quite a bit of loot on them. A lot of that's going to be in their safe boxes, but even still, they've got extra weapons. They've got Faze's gear on them. This is a big fight, and SSG have a huge advantage. They're going to barrel stuff their opponents. One goes down, looking for the third. This is going to be an easy cleanup. They're still going to have to get through Team Gotaga if they want to extract. But Spacestation Gaming are going to get 3 kills, folks. That is 800k a piece, plus the loot that they do have a little bit of time to try to gather. And I was going to say, that AWM is up for the grabs if they want it. A big loss, unfortunately, for our Alliance roster, who will still walk away with a lot of loot value from this map because of the 6 kills they got. But losing that AWM, there's only a couple ways you can get it. And without its ammo, not much you can do. But even still, Spacestation Gaming starting out with a bang as well. 2 teams left, 47 seconds left. And Team Gotaga are staying patient, guarding the extract. This is going to be a tough fight for Spacestation Gaming. But if there's anybody that can do it, it's them.
They actually, I'm pretty sure they know Team Gotaga's in here, and the Raptors obviously going to help with kind of giving them the information. All right, so they're going to be fully aware of what is ahead of them. Killzall just going to be running in right there. He seems unsuspecting, but again, they should have had the information. Max is going to be picking up Killzall, and now it's going to be left down to SSG with 2 members, the Toxic and the Raptor. Not necessarily great at going ahead and maintaining
space. Look at Vlad.
But they actually got aggressive. Vlad with the push out there onto Skies is going to make this a 3v1, and a great retreat from the remaining members of Team Gotaga is going to go ahead and secure the extraction for all 3 members.
Yeah, tough fight for Easy to take, and he will elect not to. Not much you can do when Team Gotaga gets to the extraction point first and gets the first blood. Unfortunate enough for them, SSG had to get aggressive because they were out of options. The only extraction point that they could get to in time was right here. And if they would have gotten a kill or two, it could have been huge value. So the only thing that Too Easy can do is just stack his safe box with whatever he can. They can at least prevent some of the losses that they will incur for not getting out of the lobby. But still, some extra kills is nice. I'm going to have to do a little bit of inventory math, as we all do when we're playing Delta Force. As a reminder as well, you'll see them pick up dog tags. I know when you're playing public lobbies, dog tags aren't that valuable. But here in customs, here in esports with the Rise series, dog tags certainly mean a lot. They ramp in value throughout the course of the competition. By the end, folks, they're like 150k a piece. So grabbing these are very, very nice, especially in the later rounds. But Vivid, what a fun eco round. Look, with our new rules, Zero Dam, it's a lot more mixy than it used to be in the past, man. And we got a lot of fights on main.
Yeah, absolutely. Looks like everybody is willing to play a little bit more aggressive. And the fact that there are so many objectives around the map that you can kind of fight for now, specifically talking about the fact that Wallbreaker has that change where some of those wood sculptures are going to be available down there once you do go ahead and complete that flagship contract. That kind of, you know, pushes some of our teams to play on the northern side of the map, whereas kind of before we saw a lot of stalemates on the Zero Dam map around those airdrop spawns, which of course typically spawn on the south side of the map. So a lot of dispersion on the map of Zero Dam kind of created so many 3v3s that we just saw so much action.
Yeah, it's a good shout, and I'm looking forward to looking back on this one because there was so much action. Like you mentioned, Alliance, they started things off quickly, finding Team Nadeshot early, but then it was Faze, actually, that tried to follow up with an aggressive push, and they were successful on that one. Once, again, both of those two teams, what they did is they get the first blood, they know they have player advantage, and they know they need to take the fight. Same thing happens on the other side. Alliance finds the early knock with the AWM, and again, spending a lot of this ammo here is super valuable because, yeah, it might be like nearly 100k a shot, but at the same time, they're getting 800k per kill, and they get a full team wipe there, and they find a bunch of red loot they're able to stack their safe boxes with. So Alliance is in a fantastic spot throughout the course of this map until the final 3 minutes. Spacestation Gaming comes swinging up. They get the first blood, and now they have player advantage, and they swing and get a full team wipe on Alliance. Alliance will lose quite a bit of gear, including that AWM, but still walk out with a ton of value because of what they were able to accomplish. And then, unfortunately, here, I felt like SSG just got a little impatient. I know they were running out of daylight. They had 60 seconds to get to the extraction point. I think Killzall thought that all three bodies were like stacked up over here and maybe popped the Noxult to try to surprise them. Didn't realize that one member of Team Gotaga was just sitting on the extraction, was like, oh, this guy's out in the open, no smokes, just dead. Like, what? And with that, because they got the first blood, then it was just kind of GG's for, unfortunately, for SSG. But still, all of our teams found decent value on the map, aside from the couple that got wiped off rip. And I will say, I'm excited to see this leaderboard here in just a little while. Folks, we're going to head to a very short break. Before we do, though, I told you there were giveaways today, and some of you have been asking, how does it all work? I'll tell you right now. I've got your first keyword. All you have to do is type RISE in the chat. You can see it right here. Type RISE in the chat, all caps, to celebrate the new Rise series, Delta Force's Operations Esports, that's coming up very soon with all of these teams and many more from multiple different regions. Type in RISE in the chat to enter. We'll stop the giveaway when we come back from this very short break. And when we do, we'll talk about the leaderboard, we'll talk about the points, and then we'll get straight into our very first Metal Brown. You're not going to want to miss it. Once I say stop, once the moderators say stop, you can stop spamming so we can keep the chat healthy. But in the meantime, spam away about RISE to enter into the giveaway. We are giving away 5 different ticket packages, Delta ticket packages, and we're giving away 5 premium passes. We're going to head to a very short break. We'll see you in just a moment.
Hello, Commander. Rumors state that in your youth you studied at prestigious universities overseas and traveled in pursuit of civilization. However, others have called you brutal, greedy, and said you...
All bullshit.
Commander, you sing with such fervor. Such a voice would win over any woman.
Details, details. Pay more attention. Civilization. Those scholars and philosophers only taught formulas, not survival. These so-called big shots, all refined and polite with their manners and decorum. But the moment they smell profit, oh, they'll show you what real civilization looks like.
Don't you think that the violence you believe in is incompatible with the opera that you love?
Bullshit. Violence is the oldest opera in the sun. He whose blade is sharpest, whose magazine runs deepest, is the one who sings the sweetest. You've got 10 seconds to open this door for me. You shouldn't have trusted me. I don't trust anyone.
They once believed themselves to be eternal stars in their own worlds. Burning without restraint, expanding without order. And that chaos, they called it freedom. But all of it was nothing more than flaws in the fabric of the universe. I too once basked in daylight, believing kindness defined the limits of this world. But I was wrong. If they choose chaos, if humanity is riddled with corruption, then let judgment descend. I am the warden of the abyss and the tyrant of the endless night. Struggle. Scream. Within this prison, even the noblest stars must yield to the gravity of order. The stars have returned to their rightful places. Time waits for no one. I was once lost in the fires of war, surrounded by ruin and fracture. Only in hindsight did I realize everything reaches its destined end. Every moment that has passed is a relic worth keeping.
Welcome back to the Time to Rise show match here. Number 2 on the day. We've gone back-to-back with these pro scrims, and Alliance going back-to-back, kicking things off hot early with game 1. 10 points they still pick up, even though they got wiped on the map because they got 6 kills. Now, again, we talk a little bit about these way the points work, but you can kind of see it on your screen right now. It is every single kill gives you a squad point. Okay, so that's how they got to 10. They get 6 kills, that's 6 points. And then for assets, with our new rules, it is every 2 million in assets rounded down. So if they would have gotten another 800k or so, a little bit less than that, they would have actually gone up in points to 11. But in general, they're going to go down, rounded down from 4 million to 4 points. Is how that works. So they're going to be a total of 10 points at the end of the day. With Space Station, they're at 7. Now, as we take a look at what these teams are going to be able to do going forward, Vivid, listen, this is a good start for some of these rosters, but is it enough is the question.
Yeah, exactly. And we're kind of seeing early on, you know, we kind of talked about it multiple times, Alliance playing that same game. They were towards the top of the leaderboard throughout the entirety of yesterday, simply on the basis that they just had so many kills. And we're kind of also seeing the full effect of kind of like the motto, it pays to play. We saw Alliance getting very, very aggressive around the map, investing a lot of their time into just taking some of those 3v3s. They pick up 6 kills, but they're one of our teams that did not extract, right? We saw them get full wiped. That being said, they're still in first place. They're still doing very, very well. Whereas Team Gotaga, all 3 of them kind of got the extract out, but they weren't even the team that got out with the most assets or the most amount of squad points. So again, it kind of pays to play. But talking about paying to play, we're going to be going to brackish next, and a couple of things are going to be on the table here. We're going to continue on with those supply drops, but there's going to be something on the map that is, of course, a little bit more valuable. The most valuable thing throughout this competition, of course, the mana brick, our first iteration of that. And listen, after Zero Dam, what is going to be the operators on the table for some of our teams going into brackish here? What did some of our teams invest early?
Yeah, no, and I think the operator pool is always a fun one to talk about just because a lot of people use Raptor, right? And so you'll probably see their second Raptors kicked off in Brackish, right? I think we always see Raptor used in this second map as well. So you could see a lot of folks' Raptors be done for the entirety of this match until we get to round 7, if we do, where all of that will be reset. So I don't know. I think it'll be fun to talk about it again. At the very beginning, it's like, wow, they have so many options. But if you start utilizing, Raptor twice, or for some of these teams, especially when it gets to round 3, Nox twice, you start to run out of some of the main options or your comfort picks.
Yeah, absolutely. But we also do know that when it comes down to some of those eco rounds, they do kind of invest some of those operators they don't necessarily feel like they need when it comes down to those mana bricks. I am kind of surprised that we did see a Luna used up. I feel like Luna is going to be one of those operators that typically does not come out until we see Space City, because a lot of our players value it very, very highly on a map like Space City. Of course, the Recon arrow gets so much value there, as does a lot of the util as well, because when you think about some of the decoding stations that can be found on the space station, which, by the way, is going to be the bulk of the competition fighting for mana breaks on Space City, the Luna utility just gets so much value. So a little bit surprised to see an early invested Luna from the side of Team Gotaga, but kind of talked about it a little bit earlier on, goes the fact that we are kind of going patch to patch here, and we now have Morris added to the table. There's so many operators available, so many comps that you can kind of mix up for all of these different matches.
Yeah, that's exactly right. By the way, I'm seeing it in the chat. Everybody's still talking about our giveaway. You can stop spamming. Our moderators can help us out with that, because we've already grabbed our winners, and you will be whispered later, so you can get your rewards. It's very simple. We'll tell you how to do that in whispers later. It'll be probably after the broadcast, so thanks for staying patient with us. But with that in mind, let's move our eyes towards round 2. And I do want to explain to everybody at home as well leaderboard scoring, because we kind of jumped over it at the very beginning, Vivid. Let's talk a little bit more about that going into our mana brick round. Of course, as we jump into this game, we're starting right away here with Brackish. We've got airdrops. We also have mana bricks. When our leaderboard is sorted, it is going to be sorted first by mana brick. That's what it's sorted by. So it doesn't matter what your squad points are. It doesn't matter what your total points are. It doesn't matter what supply points you've picked up throughout the course of the map. All that matters is the mana bricks. But then if mana bricks are tied throughout the course of the competition, it will then go to points. Now, if you did see our leaderboard and you saw, okay, wait, how's this math all work? I want to explain it again. Every kill you get is 1 point, period, end of sentence. It also gives you loot value that you could use to buy gear. And then your total value that your account has, stash value, weapons you extract with, etc., that makes up your supply points. And every 2 million gives you 1 point. But all of our teams did start, all of the players started with 1.5 million to kick things off. So that's where our totals come from. We'll talk about more of that on the leaderboard when we get back to it. Here's a look at the operators, though. Any big surprises? It does look like Faze and Team Gotaga, yet again, they did this yesterday, are investing their Tempest early. The only Tempest on the map here for our first mana brick round could give them a small advantage, Vivid.
Yeah, absolutely. Keep a close eye on those couple of teams, but I'm loving kind of like the diversity we're seeing here among some of the comps. I mean, we've got a D-Wolf in the mix. We're obviously seeing Morris kind of find incredible value on the map of Brackish, but jumping into just that, jumping into Brackish itself, taking a look directly at the museum, 30 seconds until that mana break becomes available in the center of the map, and an early engagement between two teams, FLC and Team Nadeshot, could kind of spill disaster for either one of these. Now, as a quick note, we do see some of our teams that spawn in the tower. Both of them opted to not run into the tower itself. They're running directly towards the mana brick. And it looked like Faze might be one of those teams that has early access to it, because you mentioned it. Faze is one of those teams that has the Tempest, so they can hurry up over to the mana brick no matter where they spawn from. Before that timer runs out, they're going to use the ult, and they're going to pick up the mana brick and have early access to it.
Yeah, it's a good shout. Tower of Babel. Sometimes teams will elect to stay there and just loot up and get their money way up and come to the mana brick party late or never even in map 2. But Faze, with Tempest in their operator pool, like Vivid said, they are looking to play aggressive. They are streaking across this map to come play for this brick and contest a team like FLC, team like Alliance, who's already here. But it does look like Alliance is going to get here first. Smokes are down and nobody has the angles. Easy grabs it and Easy is on the run. In the past, Alliance had an opportunity to take it to basically the farthest decoding station they could get their hands on. And last time somebody took it to them. they were hanging out on one of these far away decoding stations. It was all the way down in Reservoir. It was Faze, I believe, that took it. And Alliance kind of picked them up in transition and then was able to just drop it in. But instead, this time we're going to head south of the hotel and to the west of the museum. Decoding station is live, folks. Our timer has started. It will take 4 minutes for this mana brick to decode. If somebody were to steal it, it will reset back to 3.5 minutes, going down every 30 seconds every time it's re-stolen. Another thing, for those that maybe are just tuning in today and didn't tune in yesterday, another change throughout the course of our esports competitive series leading up to the Rise series is that now the time that it takes to steal the mana brick at the decoding station went from 3 full seconds of holding down a button to just 1 second. Faze could make a move here, but unfortunately Gotaga is very weak, likely with that Tempest ult popped. So he was going to backtrack, but he actually able to sneak through, even though he took quite a bit of damage. Oh, very close. 1 second is still a full second, Vivid.
My gosh, I can't believe he was still in the Tempest ult right there. I was about to start questioning the play. I was like, wait, is he going to steal the decoding station without the Tempest ult activated? But it lasted for so long. And by the way, as this Tempest ult kind of comes in, and we can see Faze trying to go ahead and approach Team Alliance, who are, of course, decoding. Team Gotaga is actually coming from the tower, and I'm not sure if Faze kind of picked up on this yet, and it doesn't look like they have, because you can see their attention is still kind of focused over towards the decoding station itself. But with this position from Snows, he's going to be close enough where if Team Gotaga make any sort of noise, he would be able to hear them. But Team Gotaga kind of playing similar to how they did on Zero Dam, just slow and methodical. But how long can you play slow and methodical for? Because there's 2 minutes and 30 seconds before the mana brick is decoded.
Yeah, some Yuto came their way, and I think they got spotted with it. So Faze is now on the run. They know there's a team hot on their heels, and they still want to make a move up to this brick. We'll see if Alliance early planting this brick and immediately starting the decode works out in their favor. As of current, it is certainly working out in their favor. Alliance is completely uncontested over there, aside from, I suppose, our helicopter boss in the sky. Here comes SSG, though. They're going to be coming in from the north side. So if Faze or Team Gotaga were to come in from the south, Alliance would be pinched here. That'd be good news for everybody else, just because Alliance have complete control of the mana brick as of current. But 90 seconds is a lifetime when it comes to Delta Force. And Alliance is just trying to get some intel. Is there anybody nearby or anybody playing these buildings? Doesn't look like it. The only way we might get pushed right now is from SSG on the north. Here's the thing, though, Vivid. I think if SSG start throwing some shots down or Alliance otherwise, you're going to see FLC try to cross this street. And it could cause some concern for Alliance.
Yeah, from the side of SSG, though, they have a very defensive copy. You can see they're going to be using the Gizmo and the Shepherd, which are, of course, very, very good at locking down areas, but sometimes pushing through can be pretty difficult. They're trying to make something happen. Off in the feed, by the way, we can see Team Nadeshot is trying to go ahead and prioritize the boss itself, which would give them access to those wooden sculptures that you were kind of talking about. But over towards the mana brick, 1 minute remains. We have SSG kind of approaching Team Alliance from the north. And it looks like Team Gotaga might make this a little bit weird for the side of Alliance if they're going to be coming in from the south at the same exact time.
Yeah, big fight here around the brick, but only 40 seconds on the clock. An airdrop has landed, but the only thing that matters right now is who gets this mana brick. This is the win condition, folks, and here comes Team Gotaga coming in a little bit late to the party, but they're going to be actually first to strike blood onto Alliance.
Oh
no,
my
can't
gosh.
get the trade. Just barely dodging out of the way of the bullets, goes prone around the brick, and Alliance still all on their feet all week, taking shots from every single angle, but they're still up. 19 seconds, they have control, and Nox can't get around some of these zoning utilities. Vlad's gonna have to go crazy, but there's gonna be 3 players here. He's gonna get shot from every single angle. Can Team Gotaga do it? Can they steal the brick? They're gonna have to stick it, but they're gonna get barrel stuffed by Alliance. Alliance is gonna hold.
There it is.
Insane.
The same story as yesterday. They get access to the first mana brick, and they have it throughout. The trades are starting to come in. As you can see, FLC does take out easy, but it doesn't matter because they got the most valuable thing on the map. And trying to keep a close eye on kind of what's happening around the other parts of the map. We can see Team Nadeshot. They were able to go ahead and take out the helicopter, and they were also able to gain access to the supply drop itself. So the wooden sculpture is going to be flying in for them, as is the
Yeah, that was a crazy play, Vivid. I mean, one, we do see Team Nadeshot getting a crazy amount of value because they were able to pick up the helicopter boss, which gives them the wooden sculptures. They also get the airdrop. So that's a huge, I think it's a good play from Nade's team. Because again, I think Nadeshot's team, they got wiped off rip at the last map. They're very poor right now. And this is a massive swing in loot value and resources, being able to get some more gold. In the meantime, though, the fact that Alliance was able to pick up that mana break, hold it front to back, not one steal, when, what, 3 other teams were in the area, really impressive stuff.
Without a doubt, for sure. We're going to be feeling pretty good about that. Again, it is the most valuable scoring metric when it comes down to the leaderboards. If you get 2 mana bricks, you win. We stop playing, and everybody goes ahead and rests. So they already have access to 1. The only thing that some of our teams are going to be feeling good about is that the next map is not going to have a mana brick on it, right? So we'll have to go to a couple more games before we do have the opportunity to kind of close out the competition early. But for the remainder of the 10 minutes, if the most valuable thing in terms of scoring is not going to be available, obviously we're going to be turning our eyes over to some of the other opportunities like the supply drops and straight up loot. But grind right there, helmet gets ripped off and he barely survives.
And we saw a chance, got a chance to actually look in the inventory of some of our Team Nadeshot players that did pick up those lucky wooden sculptures that we've been talking about. Again, a couple of those, plus some extra money invested. You get some gold armor pretty quickly in this map, or in this match rather. Team Gotaga. A little too late to the party this time around, but still looking pretty strong. Going to be able to get their revive. Going to be able to loot Easy, who was eventually knocked and put to yellow. So that's nice for them. Uh-oh. Unfortunately, I think Smile was trying to creep out a window and gets obliterated. And Killsaw, yet again, finding an off angle to get an early knock on a team nearby. It does look like there's actually 2 teams in the area. FLC is right below Team Nadeshot, who is in deep trouble right now. Reminder, they've got the wooden sculptures on them. Their loot is full to the brim. They need to get out of here.
Yeah, Chris. Might have heard you right there, Ghost. Started to feel the pressure from the side of FLC. Now they're going to be having access to the rooftop that Crisp just left. And with almost nowhere to go right now outside of the smoke for cover, behind a little bit of a barricade, the Molotov from Soloa actually misses. And Team FLC might take this as a little bit of misinformation. They might feel like the Toxic actually went ahead and ran away, but the entire time was actually just laying behind a little bit of a barricade and quickly taking a peek at what the other supply drop on the map is going to be netting over here. And it's not going to be as valuable as the one that held the That was all golds, by the way.
Yeah,
for the side of Team Gotaga. Crazy. So a little bit unfortunate.
That's honestly insane RNG. I mean, that was what, like 500k maybe in total, not even. That was like 400k. That's one of the worst second airdrops I've ever seen. No, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it is all RNG. There's, you know, golds are nice, loot is nice, but you got to remember every single kill is 800k. I mean, that's not even. The amount of loot in that airdrop wasn't even worth one single kill. That's bonkers.
Seven minutes remaining here on Brackish. Again, the extract is going to be a little bit weird. By the way, while all this is kind of going on, is a quick little tidbit of information for everybody at home. Team Faze, still healthy as 3, are off in the tower by themselves, just looting everything that they possibly can. So their objective has become quite clear. No mana brick. We might as well go ahead and loot up. And I wouldn't be surprised to go ahead and see them take that conditional extract up top if they are able to go ahead and muster up some of the dog tags, although it's only 2 people down across the entirety of the map, so I'm not entirely sure if they're going to be able to do that at all.
Well, yeah, it's an interesting, kind of a fun conversation that it felt like really aggressive early. Once the mana break left the map, though, everybody slowed way down. I mean, the fact that we have 6 minutes left in the map and only 2 players are down right now is pretty wild to say out loud. And, you know, the other thing worth mentioning is you do see, wow, that is so unfortunate. Smile must have been carrying those wooden sculptures, because now 2Easy is able to pick them up for SSG. That is a huge swing. And oh, in the meantime, on main, as we're paying attention to the map feed, FLC should be potentially playing third party to this fight. But in the meantime, Team Nadeshot in deep trouble, taking a ton of damage over the top. We thought they maybe got out of dodge, but getting flanked from multiple different angles, and unfortunately, Too Easy hits his shots a little bit more clean than Chris. Down goes Team Nadeshot yet again. First team full out. After they had a nice start in this lobby, I'd like to not go for the mana break, go for loot. They end up losing a ton of it. Not all of it, but a ton of it. And we'll see how much value they were actually able to get out of the map through just their safe boxes. But SSG come out the big winners in that engagement. 3 kills for them, which is 800k apiece. Plus, they got the wooden sculptures there, Vivid. That's a big win.
I gotta go ahead and give props to Killzall, because as it currently stands, he is playing pretty far away from the rest of his team. He's just always in a great position to find some sort of an opening pick for them right now, and that has been the case over the course of Brackish and the Zero Dam earlier on. So I feel like this is a little bit of a new strategy that we're kind of seeing, just how they're rotating around the map. Obviously, they're regrouping right now, but Killzall has kind of been off in the distance, kind of doing his own thing, and he is yet to be punished for it, and he has found incredible value from it. So shout out to Killzall, playing very, very well individually to kind of help his team out. And that's going to be the extract being pulled right there. So 4 minutes until that one goes off, and that's pretty much going to be the only way for any of our full teams to get out. At least you can see toward the northern side of the map, the backpack extract is going to be available. And all the way towards the south, again, Tower of Babel extract all the way up top is going to be available, but the conditional is not going to be met by the team of Faze because they have 0 kills so far. And oh my gosh, grind.
No way.
When is he going to peek? He finds one.
Gotcha.
Oh no.
He was able to trade 1, which is a full kill as well on Team Gotaga. So that's at least 800k he was able to get when they were in a bit of a blender. We'll take 1. I don't know if he really could have played that any differently. I mean, maybe could have slid all the way out and tried to line them both up, but that was at risk of not getting both too. So maybe a bit of panic, maybe a bit of surprise, but still was able to get 1 kill, which is nice. That's going to be 800k. And a reminder, by the way, Alliance did get the mana brick, so this is a well-played map from them, regardless of the fact that they're the second team to be fully eliminated. They will be at the top of the leaderboard no matter what, as we pay attention to the rest of the squads who, it feels like, have only been on the map for a little while, but we only have 3.5 minutes left until they have to extract, so we got to get a move on here, Vivid.
Yeah, it's going to get quite crazy on the extract. We have 11 players still alive on the map, 4 teams. And they're all going to be wanting to do the same exact thing, kind of jump on this extract at a moment's notice. But Faze are going to be kind of aware of where SSG are going to be coming for. But Faze kind of being the team that's early onto the extract, they're going to be having to pay, you know, attention to just more than one alleyway here.
Yeah.
It's an extract that's very easily approached by multiple directions, so they're going to start to feel the pressure pretty soon, without a doubt.
Yeah, no, that's a really good shot. I think SSG just need to stay patient here. They've got to expect that a team's going to come in from the backside of Faze. Faze is shooting straight today. Big shout out to Dio God, difference maker for this roster yesterday, Faze roster. But yeah, Faze is about to get swarmed from multiple different sides. The other thing we see from this extract often is that teams will swarm it with smokes and just sprint for it. And a lot of the times teams will even share the extract. A bunch of people will accidentally, or on purpose rather, kind of go out together, not necessarily trying to share, but it's just the way it goes. It's the last 3 seconds. The team sprints for it and they get there just in the nick of time. These two teams still firing at each other, but off screen, there they are. FLC getting really aggressive, and Team Gotaga are in trouble. They'd already lost 1 member of their team, Vlad, who went down to yellow and then got fulled. That was actually by Alliance's grind, and so now it's just Nox. The self-revive, I think, popping for Moxa. Had the Tempest ult pop, but it's still a 2v3. And with the res coming through, Nox a little bit late, but Util's popped and they're all stunned. They're all staggered, and he gets 1. Can he get 2? No! And he doesn't have the backup in time. It's going to be a 1v2. One's full health, the others have. And in the meantime, off screen, it's another big fight with a trade on both sides. Rousing's going crazy on Nox. We still got Maxa trying to 1v2, and SSG and Faze are still in a standoff with a player down for each of them. It's chaos, Vivid. And this is great news for the Faze roster. The fact that Team Gotaga and FLC are fighting not at the extraction means they only have to worry about one angle. And in the meantime, Max is going crazy.
Trying to go ahead and 1v2. He rolls out on the back foot of throwing the disarm right there. Great play right there, but turning it back into the Faze versus SSG fight. The second and the third kills are going to be coming in for the side of Faze. SSG are going to be wiped off the map, but there's only 10 seconds remaining on the extract. Picking up this body is effectively going to do nothing for you because you don't have enough time to go ahead and find the res.
Holy cow.
Oh my gosh. Gotta make it back. Okay. I was a little bit worried for Snows right there. I was like, what is he doing? Is he trying to res? He's trying to pick him up. But yeah, the extract goes off. There's just going to be 2 members of Faze that are going to be able to get out of the map. For Team Gotaga, though, the map is not entirely over. They should be able to have enough time to run up north. Go ahead and take that backpack extract if they want to. And then also on the other member that is alive for the team, as it looks like Maxa is going to be one making a run for the backpack extract. Just kidding. Looks like they're both just going to be opting to try to go ahead and stuff their 3x3s with as much loot as they possibly can. So even when they do not extract, they find some sort of value to take out match number 2.
Holy moly. Yeah, I didn't think it was going to be close, but it was only about 58 seconds by the time he started moving. And I was like, I don't think that's enough time. So they agreed. They're going to go for just safe box maximization here. But golly, Maxa put on a show for us. It's what we love about assault operators, man. You can get really aggressive. That dive roll from Tempest is so understated, but because we're always talking about a roll using the ropes, being called back and self-reviving, that you don't oftentimes see these really highlight level plays from solo players in Delta Force. It's usually the slow gameplay, but Maxa just all gas, no brakes, and he won the engagement. I'm sure Gotaga's team and the watch party is going to be hype about that one. That's a nice save. And those extra kills. Remember, every kill is 800k technic alloy. So even not getting out of the map, but getting those kills is still well worth it. And they get the point from the kill itself. So yeah, overall, just a great map for a couple of our teams. But you got to remember, yes, there's a lot of engagements, a lot of fun and fights at the end. Faze win their fights, get 2 out of the map as well. Team Alliance, they got the metal brick, man. They're on top no matter what.
Yeah, they got to be feeling good. It's the same thing as yesterday, man. Team Alliance, they pick up that first mana brick, and they are going to be a team to be threatened by for the rest of the day here. As you can see, it was just all on the back foot of easy on the Toxic. We were kind of talking up the Tempest on the early pickup there, but they did not have one. They just kind of ran in. The smoke's helping out, of course. They put the mana brick in, and for the next 4 minutes, they just defended, man. They did such a good job. They even were able to go ahead and fend off the Tempest ult, which, by the way, can be very, very scary, especially now that it only takes 1 second to steal the decode. And I can't lie, missed shots from Moxa is probably the difference maker on how this entire map played out.
Yeah, and this decoding station is kind of tough because this Alliance roster was able to get here so early. They could set up however they wanted. So when the pressure was on, they just sat on the decoding station. You see him go prone, feet up, lounge back like he owns the place right behind the decoding station. Was able to dodge enough bullets to save the day, and nobody could get the steal. So really well done from Alliance. And of course, they do lose a player in transition, which they don't really care too much about. And that's easy. That goes down first. And this actually allows Team Gotaga to restabilize and be a full team of 3, which of course helps them out later in these engagements. In the meantime, though, Team Nadeshot said, okay, look, we had a bad map 1. Let's play slow. Let's go for loot. They do a great job of doing that. They're able to get a ton of loot. They get the wood sculptures. They get the first airdrop. But unfortunately, they get hunted down by SSG. So SSG eventually get the full wipe on Team Nade. And Alliance, hey, they pick up another 800k with that kill and an extra point to the leaderboard, which is nice. But then it was utter chaos on 2 different fronts, which was great news if you're Faze fans, because Faze only had to deal with SSG. I say only, still a tough fight, but Faze had the power position. They had the extraction point. They had the position where they could win the gunfight and still get out of the map. And in the meantime, on the other side of the map, Team Gotaga and FLC were in a fight for the ages. And this is one of the big values that Tempest brings, not only going down early and self-reviving, but also dive rolling around the corner and getting the 2-piece. Moxa proving Gotaga very proud, as Faze does a lot of the same for anybody else watching, for the Faze fans out there. That's a nice win from Faze as they get 2 players out of the lobby and protect a lot of their loot value.
That being said, so far on Zero Dam and Brackish, the teams that are going to be towards the top of the leaderboard are actually the teams that are not extracting right now. So yeah, that extract is going to be great for the side of Faze. But again, we know who's going to be feeling the best about how that one went down. It is going to be, of course, Alliance. That being said, Gojman, up next, we don't have a mana brick map available to us. It's just going to be Tide Prison with a couple of airdrops.
Yeah.
Interesting to see how that one all pans out.
Alliance is going to be on top, but a lot of leaderboard math to figure out, folks. While we take a break, guess what? I've got a brand new giveaway for you. We've got 5 Delta ticket packages and 5 premium passes coming your way. All you have to do is type in esports. It is here. Rise Series is here. Type in esports during the break. When we come back from the break, that's your signal to stop spamming. I'll remind you when we come back, and the moderators will help out as well. And again, a quick reminder that all those whispers will go out a little bit later after the broadcast. Watch your whispers. Make sure they're open. Go to your security and make sure you can get whispers from strangers. It's probably going to become from the Delta Force account a little bit later, and we'll get your UID so you can get your rewards. So congratulations to our winners thus far. We'll have plenty more throughout the course of this. Type in esports during the break. We'll take a short break here in the booth. When we come back, leaderboard, Tide Prison. It's going to be chaos. You're not going to want to miss it.
Transmission from Hadawi, a Havoc nuclear engineer. Patching through.
This is AZ-3 facility. Reactor 2 has been sabotaged. Havoc internal forces can't handle this threat anymore. You're all I've got left.
Running blind on intel for the AL. But this region is at high risk of a nuclear incident. Keep the following in mind. Shoot, loot, then time to scoop.
The signal is clear. Take action. It's okay here. Not too cold.
Experiment 66 is projected to conclude in T-minus 3 hours. All units submit safety risk assessments on schedule.
I've got a reading.
No hazmat suits? Raise them!
Let's make it quick.
Enjoy the bomb!
So eager to die. Excellent.
I don't know what's happening, but reactor output is still climbing. And security thinks I'm behind this. They're coming for me. GTI, move it, now!
Key verified. Access granted.
Hostile signal detected. Lethal action authorized.
Damn it! Someone take control of this piece of junk!
Entering manual mode. Executing command.
Those bastards in fusion research won't authorize shutdown because of their experiment timeline. I know better than anyone how important this research is. Hold this position. Once I finish calibration, use that console to insert the control rods immediately. Data set. Follow me. I know somewhere the signal can get through.
Steam explosion at reactor 2. Incident level confirmed. Estimated contamination radius.
Careful! Don't fall! We're outside the signal blackout zone. Upload the data package to Skynet immediately. Encryption keys in the archive. Just send it!
Critical alert. Reactor power output has critically exceeded safety thresholds. Core meltdown imminent. All personnel evacuate immediately. Priority alert. Hydrogen explosion at reactor 2. Incident level confirmed. INDS scale 7. Major accident. All personnel evacuate beyond contamination zone immediately. Estimated spread radius 3.7 kilometers. Correction, 9.2 kilometers. Correction, 24.9 kilometers. Correction, 45.3 kilometers. Correction, 79.8 kilometers.
Welcome back. Time to Rise Showmatch number 2, Pro Scrims. And Alliance is on top after game 1 and in game 2. They do pick up the Mantle Brick. They pick up 2 kills and they get some assets to boot. So a decent amount of points come in their way. Now with Team Gotaga finding 5 kills, you'll see their points leapfrog as well. A +7 for them in this one. Faze pick up a +5 and so on and so forth. Overall, though, it was an Alliance victory because they were able to get the Mantle Brick first. They start the decode as well, Vivid, and immediately get the brick. Not one single steal in our first Mantle Brick round.
Yeah, crazy. And this is kind of the theme that we were seeing yesterday as well. We'll have to see if it does continue as such. But a great effort here from Team Gotaga, picking up 5 kills. They were going to be our team with, of course, the most amount of kills on the brackish game. So they're going to be, finding 7 squad points from that one alone. Also, FaZe Clan doing a great job of playing the map pretty well. I mean, obviously they picked up 3 kills, which isn't going to be the most, but as you can see, they picked up the most amount of assets, and that's just on the back foot of them obviously getting out of the map itself with 2 total members, and then them basically being able to loot the entirety of the brackish tower. We're going to be taking a look at the overall leaderboard. We know who's going to be in first place. It's going to be Alliance again, because they have that Mantle Brick. They are always going to be in first place if nobody else has one. They can only be tied or competed for by anybody else that has a Mantle Brick as well. You can see Team Gotaga, after their great effort in the first couple of matches, they're actually going to be having the same amount of squad points up there at 13. Spacestation Gaming and FaZe Clan are going to be tied down there with 11 squad points. The tiebreakers do, of course, go to the team that has the more amount of kills. So since SSG has 7, they're going to be, ledging out there in 3rd place, while FaZe Clan is going to find themselves in 4th place. And for FLC and Team Nadeshot, a lot of work to do.
Yeah, that's exactly right. A lot of work to do. Yeah, and end of the day, though, I mean, where Team Nadeshot is right now, folks, is where Team Gotaga was yesterday after the first couple of rounds, and they won the whole competition. And I think that's the thing you got to remember, is that it is still very much so anybody's game. It's just Alliance has a very strong early start. With that, though, we move into another eco round, is what we call it, another economy round, a chance for these players and these teams to get their money up and potentially get some extra advantages with those wooden sculptures that you can find on Tide Prison. Vivid, talk to me. What do you expect to see on Tide Prison? Yes, we have an airdrop. We also have that GTI supply mission where you can pick up the AWM. What else are you expecting to see, especially in terms of operators?
Yeah, I mean, yesterday, kind of leading into Tide Prison, I made a guess. Obviously, I've watched a ton of Delta Force esports and competitive, and I was like, hey, listen, I think we're going to be seeing a lot of hack claws, we're going to be seeing a lot of Noxes, and potentially some gizmos if some of our teams going to play a little bit differently. And I think those 3 operators were the entirety of the map throughout Tide Prison yesterday. Tide Prison just kind of brings out something in some of these pro players where they want to play a little bit sneaky. Obviously, the map just allows for it. It's kind of how the map plays right now. But yeah, Tide Prison is going to be playing a little bit slower than what we are used to, at least in how Zero Dam and Brackish kind of went so far. But yeah, expect some of these sneaky operators, and it's gonna be a little bit slow when things start to kick off, but a lot of opportunity for all of our players to go ahead and build their bank up a little bit further.
That's a good shout. And I can't imagine you'll see anything besides what Viv was talking about. You're gonna see Nox, you're gonna see Hack Claw. Pretty much all. I mean, we're going to see double Nox most likely, but let's check out what our teams were able to do. I think SSG, a team to watch out for in this format. They really thrived last time we played Tide Prison, ran double Nox for finding flanks that I think a lot of folks weren't expecting here, Vivid. So I'll be keeping my eye on SSG to see if they can leapfrog this leaderboard a little bit here in round 3.
Absolutely. A lot of opportunity for all of our teams. Gooch kind of mentioned it. Doesn't matter where you currently stand, there is always an opportunity for the comeback. What's going to help you out a lot, though, is going to be picking up kills. So keep an eye on all of our teams playing for those kills, because it's pretty much going to be the best way for any of our teams to pick up some of those squad points. And with no mana brick available, it's pretty much the only way you can kind of make progress on the leaderboard as it currently stands. So let's take a look at the loadouts. Let's take a look at the operator choices for all of our teams. Team Gotaga, double Nox, Hack Claw. I'm seeing a similar strategy for Team Alliance, and then across the board I see a Nox on at least every single one of our teams. Look like FLC and Team Nadeshot have actually opted to not bring a Hack Claw and actually Faze have also opted to not go ahead and bring a Howlclaw. There's going to be some gizmos in there like we kind of talked about. Morris's as well. And then a Raptor as well. Okay, that's going to be a little bit interesting. But I like the Raptor pick because, again, we know that all of these players are going to be playing very, very sneaky. If you can kind of jump in the drone and get eyes on, and that's going to help you out a lot in terms of the information game.
Yeah, it's an interesting play from Team Nadeshot. I think maybe they're thinking they won't really need a Raptor in any other map. And traditionally, when we think of Raptor, when we think of it as drone, we think about, wow, wide open spaces, zero dam. You can fly it all around and see a ton of info really quickly. But yeah, I guess it's kind of the opposite can also be true here in Tide Prison. An early engagement, though, for Faze and SSG, immediately ripping a ton of damage on SSG. It looks like Snows is going to try to pick them up in transition with Diogod out here. Didn't want to get too aggressive and then get outgunned. But this is a nice early fight for both of these teams. It could be one that stalls out for a while. As the thing about Tide Prison, there's a lot of doors, a lot of corridors. And all I was going to say about the Raptor is, could be nice to check your corners before you go through an open door where there might be somebody lying in wait around the back end of that doorway, hoping you make a mistake, because that's how people play Tide Prison, folks. It is quite slow and quite strategic and very quiet. Jump scares.
Yeah, that 3v3 over towards the warden's office is very, very common. It happens almost every single time on Tide Prison, just because the timing is very, very similar for both of our teams. So they try to go ahead and get the leg up on the opposing side. But Faze are going to go ahead and win the timing battle there. They're going to get access to, of course, a lot of space and a lot of loot that is going to be accessible through the warden's office. And by the way, as a quick note, if anybody kind of forgot or didn't hear us when we kind of started things off today, every single one of our players around the map have access to all of those keycard rooms. So warden's office is also going to be available to be opened. Ooh. Oh my gosh. Wait a minute.
Whoa. Everybody relax. Faze is picking up a couple just gigantic reds. Max is finding one as well. Holy moly. 1.5, 1.6 mil. Golly. Talk about an eco round.
Yeah, already got to be feeling pretty good about that. And by the way, kind of mentioned it on... Oh, wait a minute. Team Nadeshot kind of getting crazy right now. Team Alliance Grind is going to be picking up the first kill here on Tide Prison. He's going to be finding Smile. And now Slept is going to try to make something happen. I don't think that disc went ahead and connected, but oh my gosh, what a nasty angle from Grind. He was peeking over the top of the doorway. I myself wasn't aware of the possibility of that. Nice. Slept is actually going to be finding the return kill right there. That's going to be Grind going down, and now Crisp is trying to make something happen by picking up his teammate, but Easy finds the angle, and he's going to get an easy pick onto Crisp, and he's going to be leaving Slept by his Loathsome, who's going to be trying to make something happen, tries to go ahead and jump out, but Easy and Lynx are pretty much playing the same exact angle right now. They're playing together, but Slept hits the shots. That's going to be Easy getting knocked. Now we're going to be down to a 1v1, and Slept is still healthy.
Slept is doing a fantastic job of isolating his 1v1s. Looking to potentially maybe stick a res here to force Slept up the stairwell and into a bad engagement.
Here comes the disc.
Being able to isolate one. Ooh. Trying to hit the desk over the top, and in the meantime, a great read from the side of Alliance. And oh no! Out to the open. Third party. Easy from SSG says, oh, you're gonna jump down to the hallway? That's a free 800k for me. Alliance, the team on top, the team with the mana break, they're gonna stay on top, but not a great eco round from them. They get picked off by two different teams, but Team Nadeshot still in a bad spot, in a bad way, because now SSG are on the hunt.
You can see a lot of information coming in from the Morris right there. He's going to see there's only one detected, and now I think he saw the shoulder of Slept, so he's going to be going ahead and throwing the stun. The comms are going to cut in, and the absolute flood over the top ropes right there is going to be finding the last member of Team Nadeshot, and a well-timed push from the side of SSG is going to be netting them with 2 kills. And unfortunately for Team Alliance, our team in the lead, they're going to be out. And also, unfortunately for Team Nadeshot, who has pretty consistently been kind of like our first team to kind of falter in some of these maps, they're going to be out as well.
Man, it really felt like Team Nadeshot was coming alive there. A small mistake trying to pick up the body and bring it to safety mid-fight. I think it was a great read from Alliance that they could potentially do that, and he could find an angle to catch one of the players, isolating Slept as a 1. But then Sled put on a show for us. And it felt like he was going to win that engagement without the help of SSG. But then SSG helped him out. And then they hunt him down. And SSG come out the big winners on that one. I told you to watch out for these guys. Came in swinging. And again, anytime you hear gunshots in these customs, that is a huge signal flare. A giant flag waving you into that direction. Because if you can third party and steal one of those kills away, it's an extra point, it's 800k, it's loot, and it's potentially a full team off the map. Enough about that, though, because we've got Team Gotaga on screen, looting up nearby. FLC have certainly heard the footsteps and know there's a team close by. Maybe got some info from Hatclaw. SSG mostly alone. Faze completely alone. Going to be looting up Wardens and even more. What do you think? What's the game plan here, Vivid, that these 4 teams are thinking about? Airdrops, maybe? GTI supply mission? What's next?
Looks like Team Faze is currently pondering around the idea of calling in the contract there. By the way, the map boss on Tide Prison here, which can be activated by both the contracts of Operation Star Slayer and Operation Raven Hunter. We'll go ahead and drop those wooden sculptures that we kind of talked about on Zero Dam and Brackish. So that's kind of how those come into play. And I do see the contract has actually disappeared from the map. And you can see on the Faze POV, you're going to be having those bots join their arsenal. So they did go ahead and call in the contract. So potential there for obviously some loot, but also those wooden sculptures. Yeah, I mean, Faze haven't really gotten any value outside of the Warden's office. I mean, we did see, I can't even remember in particular which teams were able to find some of those big reds. I know Team SSG, they have access, or they went ahead and picked up a bus Claudius. We did see obviously like one of the typewriters come in, and then one of the buoyancy devices. But I can't remember specifically what teams were able to go ahead and pick those up. The buoyancy device is going to be the hardest one to kind of find value out of, because of course it's going to be the 4x3. You can't put that in your safe box. So
yeah, good shout.
They have to get that one out of the map, and you can't take it out through backpack.
Look at Maxa.
You need to put it in a backpack. No way.
That's 1.9 mil. Now, is that's not what he pulled earlier? Because I know that's a new one. Are you kidding me? Holy, the cleaner and,
oh my God,
they had the BCD. Holy cow! This guy's got to get out of the map right now. Get out of here. That is a ridiculous pull for Team Gotaga. Look, there's so many things exciting about Rise Series and Delta Force Esports. But there's something about pulling reds and just getting lucky that gets people pumped. And Team Gotaga now are like, okay, this is an economy round. What if we leave? Is that possible?
Yeah, good luck. Prison is very, very difficult to go ahead and extract from, especially in a competitive setting. We do, of course, know that the helicopter platform all the way on the southern side of the map is going to be activated in about 4 minutes and 30 seconds. When there is 5 minutes left remaining on the map itself. And then, of course, the most common way to kind of get out of the extract, hacking the computer in the center and then pulling the switch. But just so many steps and so much area to kind of work around before you are even able to extract on a map like Tide Prison. Makes it very, very difficult. For Team Faze, they're going to be controlling unloading right now and potentially using the water to go ahead and swim out to this airdrop. I won't lie, I wouldn't be surprised if they don't end up going for the airdrop and instead just try to play for a little bit of denial, because they have no idea if there's anybody up on the hill, which is a very common spot, not only in competitive Delta Force, but then also in some of the public matches. If they are able to kind of figure out a way to get some of the information that they would need necessary to find out that there's nobody up on the hilltops, then yeah, they could go for the airdrop. But again, there's really no way for them to kind of figure that out. Oh, they go for it anyway. Vivid is silly. They're just sending it.
Swim.
This is scary,
swim.
I swear.
Yeah, it doesn't look like anybody's really going to contest them for it. They're first in the party by a mile. But
there's that typewriter.
Yeah, that typewriter they pulled earlier. Man, there's so many reds pulled on Tide Prison this time around. My goodness.
Which is good for Faze as well, because going out to this airdrop and then, of course, picking up, you know, more reds, more value and everything like that They're going to be the first team over here to this helicopter pad that we were kind of talking about earlier on, which still 3 minutes before this extract does go off, which is going to be a little bit scary because there's not a lot of cover on this platform itself. It can kind of get very, very scary when any of our other opposing teams make their way up on top of some of those hilltops, if they do.
I mean, let's talk a little bit about some of the extractions now. I mean, we still have 7.5 minutes left on this map, but we only have 4 teams, which makes the map feel pretty big. Well, we'll get back to that because FLC and SSG have elected to engage with each other. They found an angle. This isn't a fight that I think either team really want to take in this form or fashion. It does look like maybe one of our Noxes from SSG is getting really aggressive. So I might be eating my words here in just a moment. SSG are looking for more.
Cool little window here as well, potentially giving some information, but the information is not going to be outside. It's going to be all about SSG kind of poking and prodding around some of the doorways here, but again, we kind of know how this goes. When you kind of lock yourselves down behind some of these warden corridors, it's very, very hard for any team to go ahead and make any progress towards your position, especially when you do take a look at the likes of FLC and their comp right now. Of course, they do have the Nox, which is very, very typical, but the Gizmo is going to be very, very good at playing defensive. Oh, a little angle here for Skies. Oh my gosh. Oh. And a great shot onto Mr. Diogod right there is potentially going to open things up, but he gets a little bit aggressive on the back foot of hitting a shot, and Taloa is going to make him pay. 2 different teams kind of feeling the wrath right here.
You can see on the mini-map the value you can get from Morse, but our gentlemen over here from Faze are struggling a little bit. And oh my goodness. What is happening right now? The sharks are getting some blood, ladies and gentlemen. We use that as an analogy often, and sometimes in Delta Force, it's just actually real. The sharks are in the water and they are hunting for blood. But speaking of blood, there's more to be had here between FLC and SSG. SSG in a bit of trouble, especially with their sniper down on yellow timer. That res is not coming up anytime soon.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very difficult for them to go ahead and pick that body up. I would imagine on the outside over towards the water, Team Faze have got to be feeling pretty happy after they're able to go ahead and res Mr. Diogod. That extract is going to be getting activated here very, very shortly. But again, once it is activated, it does take another little bit of time before it does go off. Again, they're still going to be having early access to it. The extract kind of reminder in the middle of your screen kind of goes off as soon as it does get active. They do have to wait another 2 minutes after that timer, so when there's 3 minutes remaining on the map here in the competitive format, that's when they're actually going to be able to extract. And look, take a look at this. SSG, they went ahead and hacked the computer and they pulled the switch. So we're going to be getting the extraction point pipeline gate number 1, which is going to be top left.
Yeah, usually you're going for bottom extract, south side of the map where Faze was at, but we are finally going to get a pipe fight. We haven't seen one in a little while on Tide Prison. But this is going to be a waiting game, a patient extraction. Again, you can see the timer on the left by the mini-map. Pipe, 3 minutes and 10 seconds. Game clock's going to be at 3 minutes and 50 seconds. So there's time, but only time for that.
Uh-oh. Probably the scariest thing you can kind of hear and kind of have show up on your screen is that Nox ult, the information that's going to be popped. It's going to be very, very hard to make any plays happen if you got somebody kind of running around and you won't be able to hear them. You can see for Team Gotaga, they're trying to play accordingly. But there aren't too many people directly around them. Team FLC are a little bit ways away, which is potentially scary if Vlad is able to get just a little bit closer.
Look at FaZe though. Look at what they're doing. They're only sending one player out of the lobby. Mr. Diogod's gonna come get Mixie as a solo here. And Snows is headed all the way up around the north side of the map and is probably going to go play for the pipe extract to try to hold some of the teams trying to get out of the map. What an interesting play from FaZe. Oh no, it looks like FLC's in an engagement already, finding an angle actually on Team Gotaga. Or maybe in a bit of trouble. Maxa was the hero of the last map, and Gizmo's making him think twice.
Yeah, I was a little bit worried for Vlad's position. He was trying to kind of find one of those angles. He does kind of get found out, but take a look at this. Killzall just going to be waiting in the wings here. Snow's going to be running right into the crosshairs. That's going to be an easy pickup for the likes of Killzall, but take a look at the trades that are happening between FLC and Team Gotaga. There are a couple kills for the team of Team Gotaga, but it's just going to be knocked left. He's going to be so low that Gobi is going to be able to find the last remaining shot needed. And after playing hero here, is going to be able to go ahead and pick up both of his teammates. But after all is said and done, are they going to have any time to go ahead and make anything happen around the map?
Yeah, FLC will get both of these. Honestly, a hair of an overcook there from Team Gotaga. I mean, they were down in numbers, but he actually landed the util and then re-peeked the same angle. So FLC just kind of held it through the distortion and was able to still get the kill on him. Very close to another hero play from Team Gotaga, though. They're looking really strong today, but FLC win their engagement, which is a big one. And yeah, now the big question is, now what? In the meantime, Diogod is on the hunt. Oh, there's no way Salab was hurt. Oh, and they hurt him. They hurt him. He's just full sending. Oh my gosh. Good read from FLC. I thought he was going to be able to surprise him. I think he thought the same, but they set up a pinch. Salaba stopped the res, knew that he was coming. Teammate shot him in the back as he jumped down. Nice play from FLC.
You see top left right next to the map. 15 seconds until that pipeline extract does go off as we do take a quick peek at what's going on over here. Killzall and Too Easy are going to be making out of this one alive as Sky did go down earlier on in this match. All right, SSG are going to be one or two of only what looks like will be 4 players to kind of extract here. Obviously, we know that FaZe, they only sent 1 member out when they did have the opportunity to send out the full squad if they wanted to, but they felt like there would be more value found in some of the denial and some of the kills that they were able to potentially find. We also did, of course, just see SSG extract with 2 members, and then FLC with only, what was that, like 5-second differential there between the extraction timer and the match timer. They're going to be sending Saloa out. That's going to be great for them. You can see they also have the sniper and their secondary, so that's going to be great for them in some of the following matches. But there it is, Ghost. Tide Prison is down. A lot of kills were kind of had. A lot of bank was kind of built up. It went pretty much exactly how we thought it would go.
Yeah, it was a big engagement. It was a lot of fun fights. And I was about to shout out the fact that because one of the members of SSG died with the M82, I wasn't sure if anybody else picked up the M82, and it did look like FLC was able to grab it, and that's the player they got out of the map with. So that is something new with this season as well, is that instead of just having the AWM in the GTI supply mission here on Tide Prison, you could also pull the M82, which is what Skies was using when they got that weapon. So M82, red ammo, it hits like a truck, takes a little while to ADS, but still a great weapon to utilize. Could see FLC use that in future reps, depending on how much ammo was left. Let's take a look back on that one and how it all went down, though. And Vivid, walk me through it, because there were some early engagements, but it started a little bit slow, as Tide Prison can. This was the first fight, though, and one that we felt like maybe Team Nadeshot could win, especially with Slep putting on a show for us there. But unfortunately, what ended up happening, of course, was that SSG came in third party and everything and killed both those two teams.
Yeah, extremely rare for us to see Alliance go down early without any kills. That's kind of what they are known for. After that, again, it was pretty much just all about finding the kills where you could. And for Skies, you mentioned it, M82 in hand was going to be finding Diogod. But after getting a little bit aggressive, Saloa picked him up. And also the Shark finally able to find some kills as well. And then FLC versus Team Gotaga towards the end here. Some incredible clutch moments. We're all across the board, but as you can see here, man, there's just so many sneaky plays.
Yeah. I mean, look, tight precision, that's just how it plays. It's so sneaky. Even Faze, they send one player out via the Southern Extraction, and they send the other two to just go hunt the map. And unfortunately, everybody else was hunting them. These solos came running in trying to make big plays, and they got red every single time, unfortunately. So Faze only get one player out, FLC only get one player out, and then SSG get 2 players out. In general, though, decent eco round for these players. There was a ton of reds that was picked up across the map. I'm curious how many actually got out of the map. Several of them fit in the safe boxes and a couple didn't. But unfortunately, I think Team Gotaga got full wipes, so they did lose some really valuable reds on the ground. We did get the cleaner, I think, in the safe box, but either way you look at it, some crazy pulls in tight prison. Maybe that makes up for our weak pulls from the airdrops in Zero Dem. I don't know. But folks, we're going to head to a break here in just a moment. And as we get the scores all prepared for you, I do have another giveaway. And again, I'll be explaining this in chat, and big shout out to our moderators as well. We're pulling these winners after the broadcast. We're pulling the winners now. We'll whisper you after the broadcast. It's right here. New one, new season, Meltdown. Type it into the chat. Type in Meltdown to enter into this giveaway. As a reminder, stop the spam when we come back from the break. You can do it throughout the course of the entire break. Right when we come back, the giveaway will be over. Winners will already have been chosen. We will whisper you after the broadcast. Keep those whispers open. Get your UID, and you'll see those rewards within the next couple days. Thanks for staying patient on that, and congratulations to our winners thus far. Type in Meltdown during the break. When we come back, another Mantle Brick round. It could even be the last map of the day if Alliance are able to get a second brick. We'll see you then.
Telemetry data confirms the Havoc rocket formation has deviated from its flight path and is currently plummeting toward Claudia. All units, clear the area immediately and secure the wreckage.
Still a chance if I can freeze them!
Maintain suppressive fire!
Time waits for no one. I was once lost in the fires of war, surrounded by ruin and fracture. Only in hindsight did I realize everything reaches its destined end. Every moment that has passed is a relic worth keeping. They once believed themselves to be eternal stars in their own worlds. Burning without restraint, expanding without order. And that chaos, they called it freedom. But all of it was nothing more than flaws in the fabric of the universe. I too once basked in daylight, believing kindness defined the limits of this world. But I was wrong. If they choose chaos, if humanity is riddled with corruption, then let judgment descend. I am the warden of the abyss and the tyrant of the endless night. Struggle. Scream. Within this prison, even the noblest stars must yield to the gravity of order. stars have returned to their rightful places.
Welcome back. Time to Rise Showmatch number 2. Pro Scrims and FLC, the big winners from that last rep. Mr. Vivid pick up 5 kills, plenty of assets to boot. Spacestation Gaming still pick up a solid amount as well, nearly 10 million in assets gained just from that round alone. And everybody else had okay matches, as I can put it that way. Team Gotaga could have had a banger with the amount of loot that they found on the map, but unfortunately got wiped. So only pick up 3 points from that one. Any big takeaways from the game leaderboard?
I mean, we were kind of curious as to if the Reds were able to find their way out of the map. Obviously, Spacestation Gaming picking up almost 10 million there. Did find their extraction with just 2 members. Well worth it. But yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised to see FLC towards the top with the most amount of kills right there. I guess all of the action was kind of pretty chaotic and the kills were just kind of going back and forth. But let's take a look at the overall leaderboard. Of course, Alliance still in first place as they do have that mana brick, but after a huge game, a huge swing from the side of Spacestation Gaming, they are now in second place. They have a total of 19 squad points, 10 kills there, and then 9 asset points, which, by the way, these squad points are still very, very important because as soon as one of these other teams do pick up a mana brick, like let's say we jump into Space City here for the first time on match number 4, and Space Station Gaming pick up a mana brick, and, you know, the squad points stay as they are, then Space Station Gaming will be in first place because they'll be tied with mana brick, so the tiebreaker will go to squad points after that. So squad points are still very, very important, and even though Alliance do have the mana brick and they are in the lead with a big advantage going into Space City, it is still anybody's game.
That's exactly right. And as we move into map number 4, I think Vivid put it best. It is still anybody's game. But map number 4 on Space City, it does mean it could be our last map because Alliance already have the brick. So a lot on the line here moving into Space City, and it's worth us briefly talking about what makes Space City different, what makes it special, what type of comps are we expecting to see, Vivid? We talk about this every single time we jump into Space City for the first time because it's really important. Definitely going to see a lot of Tempest. Definitely going to see a lot of smoke operators like Stinger. What else are you expecting to see? A lot of Recon, yeah? Looking for Lunas?
Yeah, looking for Lunas for sure. Looking for those Tempest. We've seen a lot of Stingers kind of finding themselves into the mix on Space City as well.
Toxic.
Yeah, Toxic as well. Obviously, we're taking a look at the operator pool and what's left for everybody. But before we do kind of jump into the match, I think one of the biggest talking points that we need to talk about, we said it multiple times, Alliance already have that mana break. So I was very, very curious. I'm like, okay, what spawns do they have available for them? This is a whole thing on the Delta Force competitive side of things. A real quick note, you can there's 3 different types of tiers on every single one of the maps that we are playing in terms of spawns. The game kind of, or the directors behind the esports side of things have kind of coined each one of the spawns that you can get as a tier 1, a tier 2, or a tier 3 spawn. In back-to-back maps, you cannot get the same tier of spawn back-to-back. So Alliance right now, since they got a tier 2 spawn on Tide Prison, they actually can get a tier 1 spawn, but that also means they could get a tier 3 spawn. Alliance, our team that already has the mana break, could get early access to said mana break on Space City and could close things out early if they play it right.
Yeah, I think that's a great shout from you, Vivid. The spawns are super interesting and can definitely help out with getting the brick first, which, if we know anything about Alliance, frankly, is that they love to get the brick first and immediately start the decode. They want to get the thing kicked off. They want to be in the power position. They want to be in control of the way the map is played. And it's something they've done a great job of thus far in this competition and all day yesterday. This is essentially the exact same spot that Alliance was in yesterday. And I'll be curious to see if they can actually close it out this time in less than 7 games. Took them a little bit longer yesterday, and it allowed a team like Team Gotaga to come back in the last 2 rounds. But let's get into it, folks. It is Space City time. Potentially last map of the day, or could we go to 7? All I know is I'm excited to be here. Gonna see a lot of smokes. Gonna see a lot of recon. And certainly gonna see a lot of action. Folks, if you haven't done so already, we are live on all of the official Delta Force esports channels as well. Live streaming over there on YouTube on the official esports channel for Delta Force. But also follow DF Game Esports on all the socials you see down below as well, especially on X. They're always posting updates about esports schedule, what you can expect from the Rise series that's coming up in just about a week and a half now. Really excited to kick that thing off and see all of our teams. This is just a snippet of some of the teams in the competition from multiple different regions. We have a full Americas competition going on and EMEA regional competition that will be going on throughout the course of the first season. But here we go. It does look like Alliance full committing to this one, Mr. Vivid, not only with the meta comp and the operators we talked about, but also full golds, the only team to do so. They want to win it right now.
Yeah, they're going to have a big advantage in terms of the gear. We do see a couple of members of FLC also kind of invest into that gold armor. Let's take a look at the spawns here. Alliance are going to be getting one of those T1 spawns as they're going to be spawning at Westgate. This one is a little bit scary sometimes because the team of Faze who spawned over at the dormitory side could go ahead and throw in all of the utility, and they do just that. Take a look at how low Alliance are. They're actually going to be finding the kill. The D-Wolf grenades. Oh my gosh, the Molotovs to follow. It takes out 2 members of Alliance, and the investment is immediately shut down.
Utter chaos on the map. T1 spawn of Westgate is a little dangerous, and FaZe came out swinging. They go Aluru, and they go D-Wolf, and they double zone off 2 of the 3 members of Alliance. They lose 2 of them. In the meantime, by the way, Team Gotaga get griefed by Team Nadeshot, who hit a snipe off rip, off spawn, immediately clipping the wings of Team Gotaga, who are down to a duo. And there's other engagements happening at the same time. SSG was causing a bit of duress on the map as well. This was a nutty first 30 seconds of the map. An Alliance who came in full golds, meta comp. This is not what they did last time. If you remember yesterday, on Mount 4, they came in with purples, and they didn't bring a Tempest in. They wanted to save it for later rounds. This time, they invested, they get Westgate, and they get punished for it. I think FaZe smartly knew that they maybe couldn't or wouldn't get a T1 spawn and went for these zoning operators. And FaZe is one of the only rosters, except for Team Nadeshot, that is not investing in a Tempest right now. And it worked out great for them. Wow, what a start.
Yeah, super tough for Alliance to kind of deal with that one. As we do take a look at Team Gotaga, you mentioned it. One of their members, unfortunately, did go down as they were trying to cross the road and trying to kind of cross the pipelines here, but they're actually under heavy fire from another angle as well. This is going to be SSG trying to find some value, just kind of taking some pop shots into the smoke, trying to see if the hit markers do land. A couple of them do, but it's going to be hard to find an incredible amount of damage, or at least enough to actually make something happen. And wait a minute, Killzall finds FLC. But look at this. Again, remember how I mentioned Killzall is always so far away from the rest of his team? His team is like up on the bridge. They've got Skies off in another building as well. The whole team of SSG is nowhere near each other. And as a result, Killzall is actually finding kills around the map.
I don't know if you've ever seen the movie The Patriot, but the enemies think that they're fighting an army, and it's really just one man on a mission. That's what I feel about Killzall right now. My goodness. Shoots him from one angle, nades him from another. They're scared, they're running, they're expecting an entire team of SSG. It's literally just Killzall by himself, about to make a play for the brick. Slow creeping, but in the meantime, Alliance in trouble. Easy, last remaining player on his team, and Easy's going huge for the roster. Unfortunately, low health in a dream right now. How is he going to make a play against 2? He's not. He only gets 1, but Alliance full wipe. We are at least playing one more map, while SSG somehow have the brick as Killzall is alone. This is such a banger of a Space City map 4. Maybe one of the best I've seen in terms of just raw action and wild and wacky plays.
Yeah, I mean, this is just crazy. But is Killzall going to be able to kind of make it out of this position? He's not going to be playing operator that can kind of just run out. And yeah, he's under heavy fire right now. It's not even from the side of FLC. It's actually going to be from the side of Team Nadeshot, who have actually wrapped all the way around and found themselves up on the bridge. Remember, prior to this, SSG, they actually had the stakehold onto the bridge. So with the fact that Killzall's teammates left that bridge, it opened up the opportunity for Team Nadeshot to kind of wrap in from that side, and now Killzall is going to be under heavy fire. I actually have no idea how he is still alive. He's kind of just laying down there, hoping that Team Nadeshot does not find an angle on him, because he pretty much cannot move anywhere as it currently stands.
Yeah, he's stuck there, and Salawa knows it. The problem is there's a bunch of other teams in the area. Salawa does have the M82, and well played shot there in Team Gotaga. The weird part about FLC's position, there he goes, finally. Actually, it's Vlad that finds the angle and kills all. So
oh my gosh.
All of that craziness, all that work, unfortunately for naught, just because of the positioning of where SSG came from. I almost feel like his two teammates should have held bridge if they could have, and given Killzall an exit strategy. Once they pushed up to try to play with him, it actually is the reason he was punished for his positioning. With so many teams around, but even still, brick on the ground. That timer ticking down right now is the timer until the brick resets back at its spawn. Now, it doesn't have to go far. It's just on Killzall's body, but that body is wide out in the open.
And Max actually just used the Tempest, which I would have predicted prior to that he would have went for the mana break itself, but seemingly opted not to. And as you can see, this has kind of been the position for the team of SSG. I mean, obviously, Too Easy was up on the bridge prior to that, but Skies has been hanging out over by this Hudson building for the entirety of this sequence right here. I'm not entirely sure what the play is for Skies whilst all this is kind of going on. I mean, your teammate is literally going for the brick, and he was kind of hanging out in Hudson's. Like, you really can't see anything from that building. A little bit of an odd one, but yeah, Team Nadeshot obviously going to have a great position up on the bridge. But the big question is anybody going to get aggressive? Is anybody going to turn their objective over towards the mana brick itself? Because as the timer for the match itself does start to dwindle, it'll make it that much more difficult for anybody to go ahead and secure the mana brick. Remember, that first initial decode takes 4 minutes. You obviously got to go ahead and work your way over to the decoding station and, you know, kind of make everything happen prior to that. So time is going to be of the essence here. And I feel like everything's going to happen very, very quickly.
Yeah, it's a kind of hurry up and wait for a lot of these teams. They had to get to a position where they could play for the brick on respawn, but they couldn't. Oh,
what?
Okay, all right.
What?
Too Easy's just showing off. I mean, he's just showing off. Guy didn't miss a shot. Smile goes down. Team Nadeshot's gonna have to think twice about rechalling after Too Easy hits shots like that. Could open up potentially Too Easy to make a play for the brick, but even still, it's wide on the open. Team Nadeshot gonna have one holding the line on the brick and on Killzall's body, and the other going for that res. It was cool. It doesn't do too much for him.
Actually did get the full knock, by the way, on the body. It looks like Saloa is actually fully aware of the position here of Too Easy. If that nade lands, it's going to be pretty scary. I think it actually did land, but on the other side of things, Skies coming in to join the fray as well. Is going to be taking out Kobe, who I think might have actually been on the Tempest right here.
Nice.
Finally, Maxa uses that Tempest ult to go ahead and pick up the mana brick itself, but take a look at this. Only 50 seconds remaining before they have to put it into a decoding station, else it will reset. Lucky enough for them, Black Chamber is very, very close by, and it looks like they are going to be putting this one down in Black Chamber and trying to hold from here.
Yeah, this is actually a really strong play from Team Gotaga. This is why Tempest is so valuable. They throw it inside. And, no way, we're getting Killzall up?
What?
How is that being allowed right now? I guess Team Nadeshot lost a player. They were going for the res, and honestly, it kind of feels like FLC was holding with that M82, holding with the sniper, is actually making teams think twice about peeking the bridge, like Team Nadeshot or even Team Gotaga making any other play besides just grabbing the brick and running to safety. So FLC is now running back for the brick now that's in the decoding station. Team Nadeshot going to be a little bit late to the party coming from bridge if they even aggress at all. And somehow SSG are all back on their feet as a team of 3. And also nobody looted Killzall, so he's got everything that he started with. What a, honestly, terrible situation turned into a great one for SSG. That's crazy.
Yeah, hopefully they can kind of make something happen with what feels like a second chance here. And by the way, we did see when we took a little bit of a quick glimpse at the map, Team Faze were kind of sitting over in the central command building while all this was going on. But of course, with the mana brick kind of being put down into the station, they were forced to make their rotations to the center of the map. So we have 5 teams that are kind of swarming around Black Chamber, but we more often than not see this get stalled out for what feels so long. Like Team Gotaga obviously in a lot of control right now, but we will actually see multiple members of Team Gotaga actually play up top, towards the top of the staircase to try to deny the rotation from the CEO office specifically. Obviously, we can see it because we have eyes in the sky, but I don't think there's going to be anybody making that rotation, as it is going to be quite a rare one. I feel like Team Nadeshot have the best opportunity as it currently stands to make anything happen.
Yeah.
And just as I say that, they do go ahead and move up their position to try to go ahead and steal this, and they should get it for pretty much for free, because again, Team Gotaga, their positions are not necessarily revolved around denying the mana brick as it currently stands. They were more worried about the rotation from up top, the CEO office.
Yeah, there's one thing about this decoding station that we always see, or most of the time see, is it trades hands a ton, because you can't just sit in the hallway. I mean, you could, but you're going to usually get killed because of that, and you don't want to give away height. So that's why Gotaga, see what they're doing. They're just taking height, sending one down, retaking it, re-stealing, and going back their merry way. Now, in the meantime, by the way, every single time it's stolen, it's going to go down 30 seconds. So it's at 3 minutes right now. Next time it's stolen, it's going to go to 2.5 minutes. We do need to watch the game clock and make sure everything is still going to be able to come through in time if it does change hands a couple more times. Team Nadeshot has lost a player. It's actually FLC Salawa that hit the shot at M82. Probably only has about 2 bullets left, but looks like Smile's got an angle over the top. Team Nadeshot, an opportunity to get a bit of revenge for Slept. Maybe pick him back up, and that's exactly what they do, as Smile has elected to maintain high ground position up on bridge and potentially hold this against a team like FLC.
This is one of those positions from the side of Team Nadeshot that actually helps Team Gotaga, because they're pretty much denying the rotation from a team like FLC from getting involved at all. So the outside rotation is pretty much in full denial without Team Gotaga actually having to invest anything themselves. So they're going to have to go ahead and focus back over towards that CEO rotation, which, by the way, I think Team Faze is actually making that rotation up from the top. And then SSG are also going to have to look to get involved at some point.
That's a good shout. Need to check back in on the north side of this battle. There's Faze. They are playing north and now into high ground position, contesting Team Gotaga on the top, while SSG's contesting on the bottom side. This is good timing from SSG to go get aggressive on low, while Faze is getting aggressive on height. GOT is going to be stuck between a rock and a hard place here shortly, and they feel the pressure, so they all go down low and are all going to play together. Reminder, this is how Team Gotaga's team picked up the 6th mana brick last time. And their first, 6th round mana brick, rather, sorry. They played inside of the same decoding station, and they wiped basically the whole lobby, playing smokes, playing doors, and just spraying and praying. 60 seconds on the clock.
It looks like FLC on the outside of things. I think they're waiting for their Tempest ult to kind of come back up, which is why they're playing that a little bit of a forward position, trying to go ahead and gain as much space as they possibly can. But take a look at this. Faze is starting to get aggressive as well. They're running down the staircase and realizing that all of this space is actually free for the taking. But with only 40 seconds remaining and still a lot of work to do in terms of clearing out the actual members of Team Gotaga, are they going to be able to make anything happen?
Look at FLC. FLC's down below as well. It's about to be utter chaos on the map. They can also wipe Team Gotaga to pause the timer. Team Gotaga's got to be thinking about that as well. Nox is playing the hallway, but the other 2 players are a little bit split, setting up a pinch so that if anybody goes for the brick, they're going to get shot. Team Gotaga, they're going to get this brick if somebody doesn't make a move. And who is it? It's going to be SSG making the move first. SSG to get 1. Kobe's able to answer back. It's trades back, left, center, forward. Tempest ult's going in, but nobody can get to the brick in time, and nobody can wipe Team Gotaga either. Nox, a smart play, hide in the closet, make sure you stay alive, and he's getting paid for it. 1, 2, 3. And Team Gotaga still have 2 up, and they get the mantle brick and a couple more kills to boot. SSG might be able to wipe the rest of these players with the positioning that they're in, but even still, Team Gotaga going to be joining Alliance as the only other team with the mantle brick moving into round 5.
I mean, you mentioned it, right? This is the same exact way Team Gotaga was able to pick up their first mana brick yesterday, and it's pretty much the same exact thing from the opposing teams as well. They all try to flood in at the same exact time. It's absolute utter chaos, and they all pretty much dwindle their own efforts. FLC Solo is trying to make something happen here. He almost pulled off the incredible 1v2 there, but he's going to be getting shut down by Smile from Team Nadeshot. And if you do take a look at the left side of your screen, right below the map, we can kind of see the result of everything that's happened. So many players have kind of gone down, and Team SSG is the only 3-man left alive.
Big momentum swing for Team Nadeshot potentially as well. They should be able to get their revive. Team Nadeshot should come up as a full team of 3 and also be able to hold any of the teams that try to rotate out of this building. Faze still on height. They've got 3 up, 1 very high up, but unfortunately, one member of Faze overcommits the peak. Sudoka down. And Ultimate Height doesn't actually have an angle to shoot down on Skies right now. So Faze just barely out of position, and now they're in a bit of trouble as well, as only Vlad is left for Team Gotaga, trying to be a hero. And here comes a full team of 3, Team Nadeshot. Again, just trying to hold the exits, as Smile does take quite a bit of damage.
Yeah, with 3 minutes remaining on the map, the actual extract is going to be rendered inaccessible, so it's going to be an all-out investment from all of our teams here. We can see finally the damage does come in from the Shepherd Tap there. Shout out to Skies for going ahead and throwing that down rather than running into the smoke. Team Gotaga going to be wiped out, but take a look at this. Kills on the backside of things. Team Nadeshot with a return fire from Skies is going to be finding Crisp. SSG still with the opportunity to go ahead and find the res, but when is Faze going to join the mix? Amongst all the chaos, they were able to go ahead and find the res, so they're a healthy 3-man right now, but Smile's trying to get active. He hits the headshot, but again, it's going to be Skies finding that return kill, but the reload has to come in. Only 12 bullets in the chamber, by the way. The full reload does not come in. He tries to go ahead and fake the heal, but on the back side of things, finally Faze joins the fray, and it's going to be Mr. Dio finding the first one. Can he find the last remaining member of SSG?
1 bullet in a dream. They can trade this. They can util this. Faze are going to be the last team standing. It's just a matter of time. Or are they going to scam? A well-placed nade could change this fight. But unfortunately, I just don't think there's enough that Skies can. Wait, Skies gets at least 1. Oh, he doesn't quite get him down. Holy cow. Faze, the last team on the map. Skies almost got that full. Again, that's 800k plus a point. Folks, that's like realized value of like 2.8 mil on the map every kill. These kills mean so much. To score a point with assets, it's 2 million total assets you have to either extract with or in your safe box or get compensated between rounds based on what you did. And the kill gives you 800k, let alone that point. It was very close to being a nice little swing there for SSG, but at the end of the day, Faze, the last team on the map, they're going to try to at least get 1 player out of the map if they can. What a map for Faze, but frankly, I think it's better said, what a map for Team Gotaga. They pick up the Mandel break by just forcing the chaos. It's the same thing we always talk about, Vivid. When chaos ensues, when you need, if you're a team that's trying to aggress towards a brick that is at a decoding station that a team is holding, you need another team's help usually, especially in a decoding station like that. So everybody converges at the same time, everybody trying to third party, and amidst the chaos, nobody can get to the decoding station in time. Even with only a second needed at the decoding station, Team Gotaga did a great job playing these cruddy corners, getting up literally in the corner of the ceiling on top of a box, so that they couldn't get shot through the doorway, and I had enough firepower to hold the line. It's the exact same thing they did yesterday. Just great resilience and ice in the veins. You've got to be clutch in competitions like this. So well done to not only Faze, but also Team Gotaga, probably the 2 biggest winners on this map, as it does look like Sudoka barely gets out in time. Will save a little bit of their loot value. Good job getting those dog tags into their safe boxes. At this point, those are well over 100k each. So that is a ton of value. Nearly $1 million in total just from the dog tags they were able to pick up from the map. But whew, Vivid, that was a fun one.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. And you were kind of talking about all the chaos that ensues when any of those teams are kind of approaching. We've seen it in past competitions before where teams have actually opted to not go ahead and shoot some of these teams, to just kind of allow them to get onto that station kind of at free will, so that way they can kind of prevent that timer. But I feel like the narrative over the course of yesterday and today has just been all about being heavy on that trigger finger, man. Anytime some of these teams see another team on the map, they just go ahead and shoot and kind of deny some of these rotates from kind of being found. And Team Gotaga has got a big smile on their face about how that one ended up panning out.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited to look back on some of the replays because we caught like all the fights and it was so much action. It was so much pace that it was kind of insane to follow because yes, we had the chaos on the mana brick, but even after the mana brick was decoded, there was a ton of team fights. I thought Team Nadeshot, you know, given where they're at on the leaderboard right now, they desperately needed value. Playing late to the party, I thought was going to work really well for them. They're playing outside. They were waiting for the teams to come out of the building and they could get their kills. But FaZe read the situation perfectly. They come around the back and third party the Nadeshot fight at the end. So let's think back to where we started though. I mean, it was fighting every second of this map, and it started at the very beginning at Westgate as it usually does. Alliance unfortunately stacked up a little bit too much, and they weren't expecting the amount of utility that FaZe was able to throw down. FaZe did not have a Tempest. If they had a Tempest on the map, they wouldn't have had enough util to take down Alliance off rip. They had the triple blaster and they had the Alluru Incendiary. That's a ton of damage off rip. Alliance go down, FaZe restabilize, but then we had Killzall getting weird, getting the brick, forcing it into a weird spot, forcing SSG to play out of position, and Team Gotaga was able to steal the brick away with Tempest Ult.
Yeah, that was pretty much all that was about right there. Maxa finally using that Tempest Ult to go ahead and pick up the brick, and after that, like we mentioned, they were able to take it over to Black Chamber, and this is where we, of course, played out the rest of their game. Now, there was a singular steal that did come in, but eventually Team Gotaga, they got it back and they were able to go ahead and defend there on out. And it was just on the back foot of this sneaky little position from Notkir. I mean, what a spot to kind of hide in. Of course, when the door is closed, it's a little bit better because this little angle is possible that Killzall ends up finding him from there. But like I mentioned, after the mana break was kind of already decoded, a bunch of trades started to come flying in for a bunch of our teams, and we know Team Faze was going to be the ones to go ahead and reign supreme at the end of it.
Yeah, and that was such a great angle from FaZe. I mean, SSG put up a dang fight, man. They picked up a ton of kills inside of Black Chamber after the mana brick was gone. But FaZe, the big winners in terms of staying alive and getting a player out, should see their loot value skyrocket comparatively and also picking up a lot of those kills in transition. I think FaZe had a really good map. But in general, I mean, of course, Gotaga had the best map. They get the mana brick. But otherwise, I don't actually know who's going to like top the leaderboards in terms of kill points. It was, I mean, kills were trading left, right, and center. It might be SSG, the amount that they were able to find interior, but only time will tell. That was a ton of fun, man. I'm excited to see where the leaderboard lines up, and the fact that we get to play another map on Space City. This time, Alliance won't have T1 spawns either. I don't know what's about to happen, but we're going to have a ton of fun. Folks, I've got another giveaway for you, okay? And again, I've been explaining this every single time. We've got Delta ticket packages. We've got premium passes coming for you as well. It's 5 apiece. We'll pick those winners, but this time, we're typing Mandelbrick because we're into only Mandelbrick rounds left. Type in Mandelbrick into the chat. Once you do, you'll be entered. You technically don't have to type it once. If you can type it a couple times, go for it. But I need you to stop typing when we come back from the break because we'll be right back into the action very quickly. We don't want you to miss it or get distracted. The winners will already have been chosen during our break. So type it in, type in Mandelbrick, and good luck out there. Hopefully you can get a win. We will be posting those winners at the end of the broadcast in chat from our moderators as well, and we'll whisper you a little bit later as well. So that's how that all works. We'll get your UID, and those prizes will come to your account automatically within a couple days. So keep that in mind. It does take a little bit of time, but thank you for tuning in. We're planning to keep rewarding you if we keep going longer. So I hope you can hope somebody else will get a mana brick this time around rather than Team Gotaga or Alliance. But if they do, this last map could be the last map, folks. You're not going to want to miss it. We'll be right back in just a moment.
Hi everyone, I'm William, the art director of Delta Force. As many of you may already seen, Delta Force is launching a collaboration with Rainbow Six Siege in our next season. Since launch, we've seen a lot of passion and discussion from our community around the tactical shooter gameplay. And whenever players talk about the genre, Rainbow Six Siege is one of the names that come up most often. So, we reach out to Ubisoft.
Bonjour, je suis Émilie Besson, directrice de la réalisation sur Rainbow Six Siege. Oui, Siege a toujours été défini par son gameplay tactique, le travail en équipe et aussi la variété des opérateurs que les joueurs ont appris à connaître et reconnaître au fil des années. Ces collaborations nous donnent l'occasion en fait d'amener les éléments emblématiques de Siege dans un nouvel univers tout en restant fidèles à ce qui les rend uniques.
In this collaboration, we focus on two things: operators and Rainbow Six Siege's iconic visual legacy. We selected 3 operators pairings who share the same combat philosophy.
I'll be there you need me.
말보다는 행동이지.
Call if you need a hand.
For classic Siege elements, we choose to honor Black Ice, the Drone, and the Alpha Pack.
Ce qui était essentiel pour nous de préserver dans la collaboration, c'était l'identité, l'authenticité de nos personnages. C'est ce qui les rend uniques. On a travaillé main dans la main avec l'équipe de Delta Force pour s'assurer que l'authenticité de Siege, l'identité de Siege s'intègre naturellement dans leur jeu.
Both games share a realistic art direction, and finding distinct recognition within that shared aesthetic was actually the harder challenge. We started by preserving the core silhouette and the color framework of Siege operators. Doc and Motin's iconic deep navy uniforms, Vigil's signature custom-fitted gear, these stay true. At the same time, within the finer details, we evolve in Delta Force identity. They wear patches from both teams. Motin carries Cineva's badge. Doc has medical kits at his side. To faithfully recreate Black Ice, we focused our material work on internal ice fracture patterns to capture the distinctive texture and a cold, austere feel of original.
Oui, en effet, Black Ice résonne énormément avec notre communauté. C'est une cosmétique d'armes qui a énormément plu à nos joueurs. Et l'équipe de Delta Force a fait vraiment un travail incroyable pour la recréation dans leur jeu de cette cosmétique, avec un souci du détail extrêmement gratifiant.
We employed a dual-layer material system combined with subsurface scattering lighting model, using camera vectors and a depth texture to offset UV calculations. We achieved effect of refractor patterns appearing to exist deep inside ice.
Et ce qu'on a apprécié et ce qui nous a impressionné, c'est le travail de recherche de Delta Force. À quel point ils ont été soucieux du détail pour conserver nos opérateurs dans leur jeu, qui s'intègrent vraiment comme naturellement dans leur univers.
Beyond the content itself, we want as many players as possible to access and experience this collaboration. By completing in-game missions during the season, you can unlock these rewards for free. One more thing. In the new operations map, we will prepare something special for you. You will find a surprise in the maps that are meant just for you. Once the crossover goes live, go find them. Once more, onto the bridge.
Dear friends, once more.
Welcome back to Rise Showmatch here, Pro Scrims, and we're having a ton of fun, and so is FaZe Clan. My goodness, we thought they'd be the big winners in terms of squad points, and we were correct. 10 total is what they're picking up here, FaZe Clan, in that last map. SSG was close, though, Vivid. Oof. Team Gotaga, technically the top team, though, because they got the mana brick.
Oh my gosh, we were kind of questioning where all the kills went. Pretty much exclusively, almost all to 2 teams. FaZe Clan picking up 6, and then SSG finding 8. You are right with your little bit of a guess there, Goes. They did find the most amount of kills amongst all of the chaos. They're going to be netting 9 squad points, but because almost picking up 8 million in assets is crazy from the side of FaZe Clan, because we did say they were only able to get 1 member out. Get a backpack extract. How do they find so much value there to go ahead and pick up, 10 squad points? And it's kind of funny as well if you do kind of take a look at the assets gain, almost kind of reaching that 8 million threshold right there. Very, very close to that as well. But it was all about Team Gotaga finding that mana break. And now when we take a look at the overall leaderboard, we're going to be tied in mana breaks between Team Gotaga and Team Alliance. But because Team Gotaga have more squad points, they are currently in first place.
Wow, Team Gotaga take the lead. And again, I want to explain this for those that are just tuning in or missed yesterday or haven't watched esports in a while. As a reminder, our leaderboard is sorted by mana bricks first and then by squad points. So you can see Spacestation Gaming 28 total points. They have 18 kills on the map. They are out-fragging everybody, and they have tied for the most asset points as well from the loot they've picked up. And so they have the most squad points, but they're in third because they don't have a mana brick. If they were to get this next mana brick, and we were then going to play a map number 6, for instance, they could leapfrog all the way to the top of the leaderboard and then be leading that tiebreaker as well. But if any team gets 2 mana bricks, they win regardless of squad points. So for a team like Team Nadeshot, they are still well within reach of winning this thing. Team Gotaga is coming online much earlier than they did yesterday. I think the beginning of yesterday was a bit of a warm-up for them, and then they came online in the last 2 maps, 6 and 7. Today, they've started out pretty strong. Let's see if they can hold on or potentially close it out here in Game 5. So the win condition, if Alliance or Team Gotaga get this next brick, we are done on Game 5. Anybody else or nobody, well then, hey, we keep on rolling. We got Space City a couple more times, and then our last place team will pick between Brackish and Space City if we get to Game 7. Talk to me about operators, though. I think the big key piece of information, yes, Team Gotaga do have a mana brick. They are out of Tempest operator usage, though.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously the Tempest was pretty much the main point of contention there for Team Gotaga when they initially did pick up that mana break. Again, kind of just speaking to how much value that Tempest operator can actually find on a map like Space City. And it's just all in the back foot of where that initial mana brick lies, because it is on the bottom of the center of the map there, and it is so open that you don't want to go ahead and risk your own life. So the Tempest all just finds so much value. We didn't necessarily see as many Lunas as I thought we were going to, but we did see a lot of Alurus, right? The Molotovs were kind of flying in, and for a team like FLC, the Molotovs are flying in, and so were those triple blaster grenades from the duo. Great for them to kind of find some early value out of a little bit of a nuanced strategy. Well, actually, it's a strategy that we have seen multiple times before over towards that Westgate spawn, so keep a close eye on that one. But I feel like we usually see it done with some lunar grenades and some lunar shock arrows. So great to see some ingenuity there with the Molotov and the triple blaster grenades. But we're gonna be jumping into it. Match number 5. Let's take a look at the investment here. And man, we only had one full team. That was gonna be Team Alliance, bringing in all members in gold. Take a look at it this time. Team Gotaga, Team SSG, and Team Faze. All 3 of them are gonna be absolutely decked out in all gold armor.
Yeah, 3 teams in all gold and all gold ammo for just about everybody. In general, I'll be paying attention to Team Gotaga, as they are one of the few that doesn't have a Tempest on the map. They're going to have to get a little bit more creative with the way they get this brick this time. They were able to utilize it perfectly last map. They grabbed the brick from Killzaw's dead body and immediately started the decode and were able to hold it. But they take a couple early shots. It does look like Alliance, instead of trying to enact the same game plan that punished them by going from Dormitory straight at Westgate, they like to go north, try to catching some teams in rotation from Central Command. They're actually able to put a couple shots down of damage on Team Gotaga, but Team Gotaga, it looks like they're running a 100-meter dash, man. They are sprinting for center of the map, and Team Alliance are going to have to just follow them at this point. So FLC is the only team not just sprinting for mid-map and for brick control. This is about to get real aggressive and real mixy extremely quick from Team Gotaga. All gas, no brakes, and they find a kill because of it.
Yeah, they absolutely counter-strata that SSG game plan right there. But on the backside of things, Faze are also starting to get into the mix here as they find one of the Team Nadeshot members. No, make that 2. Snow's going to be picking up a 2-piece. That's going to be Crisp and Smile down. But the position now for Team Gotaga, remember, they ran all the way down to the bottom center of the map to go ahead and counter SSG, but they have seemingly found themselves in a little bit of a tricky situation as they have almost what feels like no cover for them to work with. You can see a lot of damage is actually finding its way towards Vlad, and not on the receiving end of things. Killzaw is trying to make something happen, and as is Vlad, trying to go ahead and help out his teammate using some of that gizmo utility. The brick has spawned. It is able to be picked up, but you can imagine nobody is going to be interested in doing that as it currently stands.
Whew, buddy. What a wild start. These teams do not want to play from their spawns. Nobody's playing slow today, whether it's because of its scrims or because of this new format. Everybody wants the kills, and they want to get here early. There's a lot going on. SSG, the fact that they're able to pick up their 3rd here is a big win for them. Again, this is the team that desperately needs the mana brick because they have such a total squad point advantage that tiebreaker-wise, they'll be feeling really good if they get this res and then get the mana brick. But in general, there's a lot more fights going on right now. One, Faze was the first to actually strike blood, and then Alliance was able to strike them back. Now, Easy did pop the Tempest to actually play for this engagement from way far away back behind cover, and is able to get one, and then gets traded out. So Faze was in a bit of trouble. They're down one player. Nadeshot was in trouble. Team Nadeshot was in trouble from Faze, and now that they're getting harried by Alliance, it looks like Team Nadeshot was able to get their reses as well. So everybody being able to pick everybody else back up. We're actually getting a full reset here, except now Faze, an angle. Alliance, they find it. Down goes Snows. Faze in deep trouble.
Yeah, you can see the angles are trying to be found up here by the top from Sadoko. But he's going to be up on the bridge. Team Alliance, surely they're going to be aware of this. And take a look at the feed top right. Killzall is actually going to be finding Smile. That's going to be the second time he's knocked. For the first time, Slap is going to be knocked as well for the side of Team Nadeshot. Man, in total damage done, Team Nadeshot have received so much early on here in Space City. After kind of clawing back, if they had 2 members knocked, they immediately return to a similar sort of a situation. But oh my gosh, Killzall, I thought he was going to get 2 free kills, but Vlad says no, not today. And now Team Gotaga is going to be feeling pretty confident because they got the information that that's going to be on to Team SSG, which is the team that they were trading with at the bottom of the staircase. So they now know, hey, SSG is not at the bottom of the staircase. This area is going to be uncontested. Let's go ahead and push through this area and see if we can make something happen. But Nox is going to be running through the utility of the Luna. He's going to be on full scan while he's making that run up the staircase, and Too Easy is going to be having easy pre-fires to make something happen. And now Team Gotaga, they start to feel the pressure. They try to go ahead and push back Too Easy so that way they can get the res or at least the body back to a more favorable position, but they are just way too low. And the fact that SSG are back to a 3-man healthy roster, all alive, I don't know if Nock is going to be in a position to where he can get rezzed at all.
With all this chaos, classic Killzall trying to make a big rap and be the hero for the team, get a flank on Team Gotaga. Problem, Team Nadeshot yet again have picked up another full res on a yellow timer player, and now they're holding the angle from the alleyway, overlooking not quite the brick, but the path to the brick, but also picking up that angle that Killzall could have taken. Team Nadeshot, on kind of accident, have saved Team Gotaga from being full wiped.
Yeah, Faze, unfortunately, amongst all of the chaos, still remains 1-man roster. It'll be Sadoko, who's hiding away. You can imagine that Team Alliance is probably trying to sniff out that last remaining member, the solo. But again, kind of a similar approach here on Space City to what we just saw in that last game, where it takes a little bit of time, a couple of minutes before the initial mana brick is actually picked up, but it's going to be Slept on the Tempest, going to be jumping down and trying to go ahead and find the initial mana brick. And with teams trading like Team Gotaga and SSG, he might find the opportunity. By the way, this knock from Vlad was going to be onto Killzall, who is playing the Tempest.
They got it.
That res is going to be fine. And yeah, take a look at this. For Team Nadeshot, they're going to be the ones picking up the initial mana brick.
Now, great pick from our observer there to showcase that Team Nadeshot not only get the brick, but just before that, they showed Team Nadeshot peeking through the bulletproof glass. They saw FLC on this back line. They know FLC is on the ramp, so they know they can't push down that direction. They need to go a different way to find an exit strategy to make their way to a decoding station. Great read from Team Nadeshot to not only get the brick, but also try to work their way to what could be a safe pathway to a decoding station.
Yeah, amongst all 4 of the buildings that we have in the center of the map, there's going to be one on each of the west and the east sides in terms of the decoding stations. Grind is actually on the hunt in the water, trying to find Sadoko. The knives are going to be swinging in the water, potentially the util very, very soon as well. Hopefully Team Alliance can kind of help out Grind, as it looks like Sadoko is going to be the one to surface first and potentially find some of the shots. But yeah, this is a super awkward fight sometimes because you obviously can't use your weapons underwater, but you can use some of the utility, as we do turn back into the fight here between SSG and Team Gotaga. And Too Easy is going to be finding Vlad right now, and that's going to leave one of the members of Team Gotaga as an absolute solo. They're trying to make something happen, but oh my gosh, take a look at the kill feed. Sadoko, we just missed it. He knifed Grind in the water.
Got the knife in the water. Faze, unfortunately, gets traded out by Easy. We'll show that here in a little bit. The fight on main is too important. SSG and Team Gotaga have been trading blows, and SSG still on top. But Team Nadeshot have had nowhere to go. FLC have been holding ramp. So what do? They just come back and play third party. They still have the brick. They don't really care. They're going to finally put it down and start this decode. And now we've got a 4-minute timer. The Team Nade still have... It does look like actually FLC decided to rotate. Where did they go?
Yeah, FLC are actually... Yeah, they're still playing on that ramp. They haven't really made any progress.
Other side, yeah.
All right, Team Alliance, they're trying to rejoin the fray right here, but oh my gosh, the M7 in hand from Crisp is going to be laying grind out. And they're actually opting to potentially play aggressive right here. We can see they're going to be conceding the mana break, and SSG are going to be fully aware of that as Team Nadeshot. They were the ones that just had the decode kind of happening, and they're pushing over towards Hudson. But they're a little bit careful because, yeah, Lynx is in such a good position. He's going to be finding Smile, and on the debuff, it's going to be Chris trying to make something happen, but he's making so much noise. The Lunadart is going to come over the top, and so is the Disarm. This is a great combination of utility that's going to go ahead and delay the push from Team Nadeshot. That being said, the res has yet to kind of come in from Easy onto Grind. You can kind of see it happening over on the right side of your screen. They're trying to go ahead and find the timing to make it happen, but Lynx just kind of has to stay alive with the utility, and the shots are going to be happening. That's going to be onto the toes underneath of the bush, or the bus rather, and Lynx is going to be opting to jump in the water. So Alliance is going to be back to a 3-man roster, but Team Nadeshot opting to go ahead and play aggressive. They actually lose a member. No, they lose 2 members. Take a look at the kill feed. Easy finds Chris, but now Slep with a little bit of a return.
Utter chaos on the map right now, and SSG is also finding some damage onto FLC. FLC was holding the off ramp where the brick was originally grabbed. Team Nadeshot was able to wrap around to the other side and hold the opposite ramp while they set up for new and set up for the decoding station. I got turned around there for a second. But then Team Nadeshot, like you said, just full sent towards Alliance. And SSG are continuing to find value as 2 Easy's actually shooting over the top onto the fight between Team Nadeshot and Alliance.
Amongst all the chaos, by the way, take a look at the left side of the screen. Who's actually alive? We've got 1 member of Alliance and 1 member of Team Nadeshot. They're going to be still in a 1v1. It's going to be Lynx versus Slep, and Slep actually finds some of the initial shots right here. Now he's trying to go ahead and work around this left side, trying to find some sort of a sneaky angle. Remember, whilst all this is going on, the mana brick is currently being decoded by Team SSG, and the only 4-man roster that can kind of contest him is going to be FLC, so hopefully something kind of happens. But falling down right there is going to actually delay Slep quite a bit.
I thought Slep was in such a strong position. I don't think Lynx had a perfect read on where he was at. Maybe general direction. That was a strong position, but we got to turn our eyes back to the mana brick. I know we want to see what happens between Alliance and Team Nadeshot, but this fight matters so much more, and Killzall continues to shoot nukes down range. Kobe goes down. Every push from FLC. Oh, just a sneaky angle through the boxes, making FLC think twice about their positioning being safe. Every push from FLC has been thwarted with 1 player going down, and they actually are able to get the full as well. So that's not only great value, but it also is keeping FLC at bay. And FLC is thinking, can we get some help? Where is everybody? Somebody else going to push from the other side so we can actually make a push from our side and pinch this team? No, you can't. Team Nadeshot and Alliance have been fighting this whole time. There's nobody else.
Yeah, I mean, the last, 20 seconds of this mana break seem like a formality at this point because it is definitely going to be going into the hands of SSG. Obviously, the duo of FLC is starting to feel the pressure. They're trying to kind of make something happen, and they do go ahead and opt to throw down some of the smokes to pick up the body. By the way, off screen, we see Slep. Was able to finally win that 1v1 between him and Lynx. So Team Alliance have been completely wiped off the map. And SSG go ahead and secure the 3rd mana brick of the competition. And now they want to go ahead and secure the kills as well.
This is the right play. They got the mana break. They don't have a ton to lose, except you got to remember SSG had a crazy amount of loot value. And they've got a lot of total points, so they should be at the top in terms of tiebreakers. If they could secure these kills as well, starting off, Salama goes down. It's going to be a 3v2. SSG full peeks the corner skies, lines him up, knocks him down. They're going to be able to trade out one as FLC get one kill going their direction. But SSG, no, they don't even, do they even get the full? I'm not sure they did. That's a red timer. He's back up. They get nothing for all their efforts. FLC was trying their hardest to take down SSG and force somebody off this mantle brick and off this decoding station. But SSG not only wiped them, they get the brick. SSG are going to be way up on this leaderboard, especially if they're even able to extract at the end of this one. Wow.
Crazy bit of development here. As a quick reminder, I mean, listen, this is Team Nadeshot, who's the only other team alive on the map, but obviously it's just a solo to try to make something happen here. And like I was about to say, Team Nadeshot were the team that initially had control over the mana break, but they kind of opted to just run away and take a 3v3. And as a result of it, right, with the fact that they're now seeing how this kind of pans out when you play that aggressive, they got to be questioning whether or not it was worth it. I mean, you guys had a bit of control over the area that you wanted. You had a bit of control over the mana brick itself. And you opted for what feels like just simply 3 kills and a bit of loot.
Yeah, I mean, they were pretty cash poor. Like, maybe that was the decision making, was like, okay, we know it's SSG. We saw them. We engaged with them. They stole it. They don't have a brick yet. We need loot value. Let's play for this full team wipe and then go for a retake. It just took them way too long to wipe Alliance. And they eventually do. Honestly, with the help of SSG shooting over the top. And they picked up one member of Alliance that was pushing up on Team Nadeshot to make it a 1v1. But, man, yeah, you question that decision and say, was that worth it? Maybe. Unfortunately, Team Nadeshot was under so much duress on this map that a couple of the players that died had already been to yellow timer. They're full dead, so Slep can't even get the reses. It's all going to come down to what was already in their safe boxes, which was probably not a lot because they didn't have time to loot. So all of those efforts, yes, the kills matter, and the points do make a difference, but these dog tags now 150k each is great, but you don't even get a point from loot value until you hit 2 mil, and we're barely just past that. That's 1 point in loot value, and then plus the point from kills. So a nice little value add. Nothing insane to Red Helmet about it. I don't think it went exactly the way they wanted. I don't mind the plan and the strat, but the problem I think with Team Nadeshot, honestly, was that they knew that if they just played for brick and were playing for this contest with SSG, Alliance should just walk up and shoot him in the back. They had no safe play. So the play call from the IGL was, let's full send Alliance, take the team off our back, and then we can go play for a retake. It just took them way too long.
Yeah, not to mention SSG ended up finding value with shots in the back anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
But SSG...
That fight is hard to take, to be honest.
I mean, yeah, it's just super, super hard. All around the board to kind of put down the initial brick and maintain, which is why we put a giant emphasis on when it does happen, how crazy it feels. But for Slept, gonna be taking his 2 kills and a ton of loot. Or I wouldn't say a ton of loot, but a good amount of loot, right? You can see 2 mil, 2.3 mil there in profits. You kind of talked about the 1 point he's going to gain from that. But for the side of SSG, they're going to be feeling pretty good about how things went. Mando brick in hand. Obviously, a bunch of loot and a bunch of kills as well. Remember last game when we were kind of talking about, man, who got all the kills, and we saw the leaderboard and then they had 8 kills and it was like, okay, they all went to SSG. They've got 8 kills again.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if there's anything we know about Spacestation Gaming, this roster, formerly Inc., get picked up by Spacestation Gaming for the Rise series, well earned from these guys. One thing we know about them, they can slay out, man. Killzal is known as the beast in the scene. 2/3 of this roster was a part of that roster that made it to LAN and DFI, went to China for the competition, ended up getting second globally in that competition. These guys are talented, and they should be at the top of the leaderboard after this one, because they're not only going to extract, you can see that timer next to the minimap, 33 seconds and counting, game clock's at 1:10, so great job from them to extract. They don't 100% know they're the last team in the lobby, so Does look like Skies is just going to double check for him. But huge, huge value add. 8 points from the kills. A couple more points from the loot value they get. They also get some mantle brick money for getting the mantle brick. You get some extra cash. I mean, they're about to get paid, and they're going to be a tough team to catch on the leaderboard unless a team gets 2 mantle bricks.
Yeah, absolutely. When we last took a look at the leaderboard, caveat to SSG being so far ahead in the squad points was that they did not have a mana brick, and after that one, they now do. So it will be interesting to kind of see how that shakes up the leaderboard. But man, you want to talk about getting shaken up. I feel like all of our teams there throughout the entirety of that map pretty much got shaken up as well. There were so many cool strategies kind of being employed throughout the entirety of that Space City. I think one of the coolest ones for me was that initial fight between Team Gotaga and Team SSG, when Team Gotaga pretty much ran all the way through the center of the map down to the bottom of the middle and kind of cut off SSG and found an initial approach, but it was not enough to stop SSG in their tracks.
Yeah, man, listen, let's look back on the replays, because again, there were so many fun fights and the map played out so differently than like what we would call traditional gameplay. What happened here to start was actually Team Gotaga kicked things off. They come in, remember, they were like way up on the north side of the map. They come across the bridge and they never stop sprinting. It's smoke and run, hope the bullets miss us, let's dodge and duck and weave. And that's exactly what they do. They get all the way to center, and that causes a bit of chaos for the rest of the teams because they're having to fight on the outskirts, and then SSG's having to fight up above them against Team Nadeshot and Team Gotaga, and they trade back and forth so many times we didn't know who was going to come out on top. And in the chaos, Team Nadeshot said, "Thank you very much, let me grab this brick," and they're able to swing it back to the other side. Here's the knife fight that we missed, and Sudoka barely gets it. They do end up trading out that kill, though, which allows Alliance to replay for this fight, which is where Team Nadeshot full sent. They had the brick, they started the decode, and then they full sent Alliance, leaving the brick to SSG. SSG were all alone because Team Nadeshot and Alliance were fighting, and they were holding FLC. So once they got the brick, what does SSG do? Of course, all gas, baby. They full send. They get the first blood, and then they just win the trades, and they're able to trade it out and actually not even lose a life. Only one goes down, getting knocked. Now, Slep, Team Nadeshot, they end up winning the engagement against Alliance, just with one player left remaining. Slep, who is able to sneak out of the map, the only player to do so that's not an SSG player. So Team Nadeshot will jump up the leaderboard a little bit in terms of loot value and some of the kills they were able to pick up, but SSG, the big winner by a mile, Vivid.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just absolutely crazy how that one kind of panned out. And we keep kind of talking about, hey, listen, these competitions can end early, but I feel like every single time that me and Ghosh have kind of been up here commentating over these games, they go the distance. Obviously, we'll have to see if we kind of end things on game number 6, which is coming up, but we might be in for it all here today again.
That's right. It's about a 50-50 coin flip. 3 teams could end it all in Game 6, and 3 teams could force us to Game 7, folks. It's going to be a lot of fun. You're not going to miss it. Before we go to break, as per the usual, we got another giveaway for you. Same rules apply. Start spamming away during the break. When we come back, stop spamming. All you got to type in is Delta Force, baby. It's all Delta Force all day. They've been an incredible partner with these amazing Rise Series scrims and the Rise Series coming up, making this all possible. Let's give some love to Delta Force by typing in the chat, and they'll give some love to you by rewarding you with those Delta tickets and those premium passes. We'll, again, announce all those winners at the end of broadcast, and we will whisper you after the broadcast is over. Keep your whispers up, and we'll get your UID, and then those prizes will come to your accounts in a couple days. So type in Delta Force during our break. When we come back, could be the last map of the day, or we could go 7 again. You're not going to want to miss it.
We've received an emergency transmission from Hadawi, a Havoc nuclear engineer. Patching through.
This is AZ-3 facility. Reactor 2 has been sabotaged. Havoc internal forces can't handle this threat anymore. You're all I've got left.
Running blind on intel for the AL. This region is at high risk of a nuclear incident. Keep the following in mind. Shoot, loot, then time to scoop.
The signal is clear. Take action. It's okay here. Not too cold.
Experiment 66 is projected to conclude in T-minus 3 hours. All units submit safety risk assessments on schedule.
No! I've got a reading.
No hazmat suits? Raise them!
Let's make it quick.
Enjoy the bomb!
So eager to die. Excellent.
I don't know what's happening, but reactor output is still climbing. And security thinks I'm behind this. They're coming for me. GTI, move it, now!
Key verified. Access granted.
Hostile signal detected. Lethal action authorized.
Damn it! Someone take control of this piece of junk!
Entering manual mode. Executing command.
Those bastards in Fusion Research won't authorize shutdown because of their experiment timeline. I know better than anyone how important this research is. Hold this position. Once I finish calibration, use that console to insert the control rods immediately. Data set. Follow me. I know somewhere the signal can get through.
Steam explosion at reactor 2. Incident level confirmed. Estimated contamination radius.
Careful! Don't fall! We're outside the signal blackout zone. Upload the data package to Skynet immediately. Encryption keys in the archive. Just send it!
Critical alert. Reactor power output has critically exceeded safety thresholds. Core meltdown imminent. All personnel evacuate immediately. Priority alert. Hydrogen explosion at reactor 2. Incident level confirmed. INES scale 7. Major accident. All personnel evacuate beyond contamination zone immediately. Estimated spread radius 3.7 kilometers. Correction, 9.2 kilometers. Correction, 24.9 kilometers. Correction, 45.3 kilometers. Correction, 79.8 kilometers. For critical state.
Take a break. I'll take it.
Build a snowman. Pretty cold.
Welcome back. Time to Rise Showmatch number 2 Pro Scrims. And SSG just had a huge map. Pick up a total of 15 points. See the assets gained, rounded down 14.5 is 7, plus the 8 kills. That's your 15 points. And bang, they get the Mantle Brick as well. Not often do you see a team pick up the most points by a gigantic margin and pick up the Mantle Brick, but SSG have done just that because they were able to all extract as well after winning the map. You do see a couple points go to the way of Team Nadeshot just because they picked up some kills, yes, and also extracted with 1 player. But it's actually Alliance who ends up with more points just because they picked up 5 kills. I'm telling you, kills are everything in this format, man. Except for, of course, Mantle Bricks are a little bit more important.
Yeah, absolutely. And you kind of made the talking point. Hey, listen, with how well SSG have done, especially, you know, over the course of the past couple of games, their squad points are going to be flying up. And the fact that they have now picked up a Mantle Brick of their own, we can only make one assumption about how the overall leaderboard is going to look between all of the teams that have a Mantle Brick. And to nobody's surprise, SSG are in the lead with, by the way, more than double the points of Alliance, who are in 2nd place there. Now, obviously, those squad points will only ever come into play if we are tied in the Mantle Brick game. So Alliance or Team Gotaga can still kind of end things here, and the squad points effectively will not matter in terms of who can actually win this thing. But yeah, I mean, SSG are just proving that they are playing way better than everybody else right now.
Wow, that is a huge difference. Now, yeah, exactly. Tiebreaker, it means Spacestation Gaming kind of regardless of what they do. I mean, somebody else could have a huge pop-off game and make it close, certainly. But over 20 points in one game is nearly unheard of with this format. And so they've got so much of a buffer room here, folks, that What that means for Spacestation Gaming is that they can actually play pretty aggressive and bring in basically max kits as well. So keep that in mind, is that Spacestation Gaming is going to be bringing in really, really high value gear, full maxed out, full meta going into the next couple rounds, and they get a brick, they win. And if FaZe Clan, FLC, or Team Nadeshot get a brick, they're still in the lead by a gigantic margin as well. So they've got more room to work with, more than a team like Team Gotaga, a team like Team Alliance, especially with only 2 maps left. Now, of course, Team Gotaga, they just lost like almost 4 million in loot value, almost lost like several points on the leaderboard, but they just get the brick here in map 6, and they still win this competition.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, it's kind of fitting for us since we are so close to game number 7. Let's talk a little bit about how that would go if we do end up having to go to game 7 if the competition is not ended on this next iteration of Space City. There's a opportunity for our last place team to pick between the 2 maps of Brackish and Space City on game number 7. So if we do make it there, keep a close eye on that. And by the way, these operator pools will be completely reset if we do go to game number 7. But for game number 6, let's take a look at what is going to be available for a couple of our teams. And the biggest glaring issue for all of the other teams outside of SSG, for me at least, is that SSG actually still have available one of the most popular comps that revolves around the Tempest, the Stinger, and the Luna, still available to them. I feel like that is going to be great for them, right? They could potentially end this thing here in game number 6, especially with how well they're playing, if they do have access to one of the best comps.
Well, let's talk actually about who's missing key components of the comps. You talked about, yes, we only have 2 teams that have Tempest, which I think is really important, but take a look at Alliance. They're actually missing both Toxic and Stinger and Tempest going into this rep. What's their game plan? What do you think their operator choices are? They still need smokes from somebody.
Yeah, we'll have to see what they end up choosing there. I mean, obviously, they had the Gizmo kind of available to them, but I don't really know if you want to play Gizmo on a map like Space City. Obviously, when it comes down to the decoding stations themselves, he might be a little bit useful, but we will find out very, very shortly as we kind of jump into match number 6 here. Team Gotaga, Team SSG, and Team Alliance. All 3 of them have a mana break, and let's go ahead and take a look at the operated choices for all of our teams. Yeah, Team SSG, they go ahead with that comp that I was kind of talking about, the Tempest, the Stinger, the Luna, and by the way, they're going to be in full gold.
Yeah, this is actually really interesting. I mean, am I seeing that correctly? I don't know if they maybe are doing like there's a chance. Look at Faze. It looks like Snows isn't bringing in any armor, and same with Smile. Sometimes players will do that because one of their other players who has way more loot than them in terms of technical alloy buys them gear, brings it in, and drops it for them. So I wouldn't say 100% they're coming in with nothing. Probably getting dropped gear from their teammates, but you can see how much value really does matter. If you're poor on this map, it is very difficult for you to come in fully kitted, relying on your teammates to help you out, and even still, it's not going to be full gold. So a huge advantage for some of the teams at the top. SSG do get a pretty rough spawn. They're all the way up at Printing Room. Going to be coming in very late to the party as Alliance have full scent to brick spawn.
Yeah, and they're pretty much the only team that's actually entered the middle of the map right here. And actually, as I say that, finally FaZe goes through Westgate. They actually paused for quite some time before running through because they were a little bit worried of the strategy that they imposed just a couple of games ago. Also, Team Nadeshot is going to be joining from the bridge, so they're going to be running in potentially from the bottom side of Black Chamber all the way over here towards the brick. But yeah, take a look at this. Alliance have jumped on the brick. No Tempest in hand. The Gizmo was going to try to go ahead and use the smokes to get out of the util and out of all of the fray, and somehow, someway, he is able to make the cross with, what is that, like 25 hit points right there. Barely gets out, and now they're going to have a giant advantage because they're going to be able to instantly put this brick into the decoding station.
This is such a good play from Alliance for several reasons. The main one, they don't have a Tempest. They need to grab it off rip at immediately when it spawns. They needed to be there to grab it and get out, and that's exactly what they did. It meant that the other teams had to also be there at the exact same time, and they didn't believe anybody else was flying at this brick as fast as they were. So because they were able to get it, especially without a Tempest, they immediately start to decode. Now their comp feels really strong for this decoding station, right? They have a ton of zone off util that's going to allow them to hold this decoding station much better than it would be of just stealing over and over again, taking trades with another team, especially without that Tempest. So I actually really like Alliance's position right now. I'd be curious to see how the rest of the teams try to attack them. The amount of... Look at all this utility already being invested towards Team Nadeshot as they're having to think twice about moving up. Now, in the meantime, SSG, I mean, listen, they just find a way to get a kill when you're not expecting it. Killzall finds the angle to take down Salawa and actually gets the full as well. So Salawa's on yellow timer, and FLC try to peek again and think twice of it. I think one thing that folks at home are starting to realize, not only just about SSG, but yesterday, our teams weren't using marksman rifles or snipers. This time, a lot more of that. So some nice picks are helping out in some of these engagements from distance.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of value from those marksman rifles. By the way, SSG's pretty much entire early game plan here has been preventing FLC from crossing Employee Passage 2. But they're going to be a little bit late to the party. That being said, it looks like we have plenty of party goers already here, right? Obviously, we know the Team Nadeshot is trying to join the fray from underneath, but because that staircase is just such a tight corridor against all of this defensive U2 from the side of Alliance, it's going to be extremely difficult for them to actually make any progress. Keep a close eye on Team Gotaga because I think they're going to be flanking Team Nadeshot here very, very quickly.
Yeah, this is about to be a rude awakening for Team Nadeshot, who thought they were in a free spot. Great land of the nades. And they're backing way up. This is going to force Team Nadeshot out of a position that actually was able to contest for the brick. Now they're having to play low side, and Team Gotaga is either going to go through them, which they do land some more utility, or they're going to retake their Team Nadeshot's position up on the stairs and try to play for the top side. Is this good news? Is this bad news for Alliance? I'd say it's kind of net neutral still. There's a lot of teams in the area. A lot of teams that can shoot them. But no, SSG find the angle. Team Gotaga, they think they're free. They think they have enough space. But SSG continually make you think twice about every decision that you make as they find two members of Team Gotaga. Knock two, don't get the fulls. And SSG, it looks like Too Easy was going to go make a play for the fulls. And smartly, whoever the IGL is, Killzall maybe making the call. Easy, stay with us, stay with us. Other teams are in the area, overextending there. They could have gotten punished actually by Faze, who was off in the distance.
Every single time that we see any interaction happen around the map that is not going for the decoding station, it is a giant win for Team Alliance. Take a look at the top middle of your screen. Less than a minute before this mana brick is secured, SSG, they're trying to kind of find a way in, and finally they do just that. They make their approach from the staircase. It's going to be just on the outside of this decoding station. Hopefully Team Alliance, you know, kind of become well aware of this. It doesn't look like they have anybody poised up for this specific staircase, but the smoke does come in. That's going to be a giant bit of information for the side of Alliance, kind of letting them know, hey, listen, there's a team right here. But SSG, they're starting to get fired all the way across the map. 30 seconds remaining.
SSG's got to make a play. They're going to go for the Tempest ult, but they're in an engagement. Alliance is trying to barrel stuff them at the line. Killzall wins it, but look at the decoding station. 18 seconds. You got to make a move now, and I don't think this Tempest ult's going to be long enough. It's going to be Faze trying to play Punisher, but no. 1, 2. How many are you going to get? Alliance through the smoke, sprays and prays, and they're holding the line. He's on top of the enemy. SSG from underneath the Alliance player. Easy was standing on Killzall's head, and SSG are wiping the lobby. They go down, but they got the steal to keep us going for a little bit longer. So much chaos. That's why smokes are valuable. And SSG may have died, but they have also prevented Alliance from winning, at least for right now. 12 minutes on the game clock. And with SSG stealing and then dying, the decoding station is fully paused. And everybody on the map, and us, can take a deep breath.
Easy could have won it. So awkward, man. He's he can hear the audio cue come up that somebody is stealing. He just starts spraying underneath of him, but can't find Killzall, who just dove onto the point, saved the game. And now as the dust settles, what exactly are we looking at? SSG fully wiped. Faze fully wiped. I think Team Nadeshot is going to be left with 2 members remaining. Also, Team Alliance here. Easy was able to go ahead and carry Lynx far enough away to where the audio cue of him rezzing would not be heard by some of the remaining players on the map. So they're going to be a duo. And now Team Gotaga, who already have a mana break captured in this competition, just walk up to the decoding station and say, hey, thank you.
Crazy, man. Listen, it's still technically, I mean, regardless of power positions and positions on the map, still technically 50-50 on whether or not we're playing one more map. 2 teams down. Faze got wiped. SSG got wiped. SSG had a brick. Faze did not. If Team Nadeshot or FLC get this brick, we will play one more game. If Alliance or Team Gotaga get it, of course, we are done. Team Gotaga won yesterday. Could they go back-to-back? Team Gotaga was in probably, arguably, the worst spot just a moment ago. But because of all the chaos, SSG wasn't able to come get the fulls. Team Gotaga was able to get full reses on the backside, and Faze is being gone. Team Gotaga probably in the best spot right now.
Yeah, that being said, Alliance have done a great job of working towards their 3rd member who is down, so they actually could potentially kind of regain. Yeah, take a look at that. Lynx has actually picked up the body of Grind over there, so
yeah, wow.
Potentially getting that 3rd member back up, but they have enough time. There's still 1 minute and 45 seconds remaining. FLC and Team Nadeshot quickly went ahead and traded some shots, traded some util, traded some damage. So they're going to be kind of flushing each other away from the center of the map. But yeah, somebody's got to make something happen. Wow. 1 minute and 30 seconds before Team Gotaga win the entire scrim session.
Unreal, man. Here comes FLC. I'm blown away. Alliance was able to get that res. Really well played from them to sneak around the map and steal that one away. Might have lost a little bit of loot, but doesn't look like it. Here comes Team Nadeshot. They're going to go play for ramp, and so is Alliance. They're going to be butting heads on the south side of this decoding station, while in the meantime, it's only 60 seconds. So the only team that can actually go for the steal right now is going to be FLC. We got to pay attention to that as well. But here's the bang out on the south side of ramp. Team Nadeshot and Alliance fighting for each other. Well, Team Gotaga's holding the brick. FLC, they've crept in by those shipping containers that overlook the decoding station, but Team Gotaga still holding ramp. These two teams fighting for ramp. They're going to have to get through Vlad as well. I don't know if these two teams on the south are going to be able to make it up in time with Vlad holding. It's got to be FLC or Alliance, who's actually going inside. Alliance is taking over the building.
Yeah, but Vlad gets headshot right there, so he's going to be low. No helmet available. The Luna Dart comes in at a great time. Slip finds the shots. Now the Util has to come in. This backside that they're playing, the disarm comes in, but oh my gosh, he walks in just a little bit too early, and Slip disarms himself and 2 members of Team Gotaga. Team Gotaga is trying to fight for their lives, and Max is going to stay alive right there. He takes out Slip. He's trying to stay alive in the corner, but he goes down to the Molotov, and now the decoding has been interrupted, and it is just going to be Team Alliance and Team FLC alive. But by the way, take a look at Team Nadeshot. All 3 of their members were down on the ground, but because one of them was the Tempest in the all, they're actually still in this competition as well.
Perfect timing from Team Nadeshot to chow ramp, win it, full send. A slight misplay maybe got them weak, and that allows Easy to come up and clean them up. A crazy moment from Alliance. They started this, and now they can end it. Team Gotaga was in a strong position, but then the onslaught all came at the same time. They allowed, because of their positioning, playing right on the decoding station, which is their style, it allowed Alliance to take the building. As Alliance took the building, they had a high ground to overlook the fight between Team Gotaga and Team Nadeshot. The third party from Alliance cleans up Team Gotaga, pauses the timer. It is a true 3v3 to play one more game, or for Alliance to get the win.
Once one of these teams go ahead and walk up to the decoding station, the timer should be at 2 minutes and 30 seconds if I remember correctly. But oh my gosh, take a look at this. Grind is going on the biggest flank that we have ever seen. And I was like, Rao was looking this way. He's going to see him, and this is going to be absolutely terrible for the side of Alliance, but he doesn't actually catch him off. But now Grind has kind of made his position known, and this might be one of those positions, by the way, where FLC might feel like this is just a separate team. They might not even get the read that this is also the same team that they are currently facing towards the decoding station.
That's actually a really good shout. I think that's pretty possible, or probable even. Alliance maybe throwing some misdirection there, where you're making FLC think twice before making a play for the brick. I think it's a good call out as well. I think it's 2.5 minutes that is needed for this decoding station. And take a look at the overall timer of the game. 6 minutes on the clock. There is time, but neither team have control of it right now. Lure rockets being invested, a lot of util being invested, trying to at least get some damage down so somebody can make a play for the decoding station, but Grind from the backside, it finally pays off. He gets traded though, and nobody's gonna get that res on Grind.
Yeah, it's gonna be all up to the remaining members of Alliance to see if they can actually deny the res.
Oh, look at Salawa. Salawa's already been to yellow timer. He got the full.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so this might be a big win. As you can see, Lynx is trying to go ahead and make the rotation over here towards Grind. And with just a little bit of cover, I think they're going to be able to get this one off. It's going to be up to Kobe whether or not he can find the timing to go ahead and peek over the top here and actually take out the res. But no, Grind's going to be standing back up, but he's going to be walking out to you. But I think Kobe might have the angle, but he's actually not peeking right now. And Grind is going to be allowed to go ahead and make a little bit of a rotation. But you can see Kobe, he hears the footsteps. He's got a great read on where Grind is at. But from what I want from Alliance right now is to send one of their members to go ahead and tap the decoding station to start to apply some of that pressure to the last two remainings of FLC.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is a really good call. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. I think the call was Grind, make the flank. We know that FLC Salawa was playing X operator. I can't even remember at this point. Salawa has already gone down. We saw that go down. If you can get the kill on him, he'll be off yellow timer. He'll be full wiped. Then now it's a 2v3. Even if you go down, it's worth the trade because we can wrap for the res. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. That was the play. Or maybe it just worked out that way. Either way you look at it, Alliance in the best position by far. FLC, a lot of work cut out for them. And the entire tournament is hoping that FLC can win this. But Grind still has an angle. Luckily and smartly, playing very patient. Great trigger discipline here. Not give away exactly where he's at yet. Couple headshots. This gun hits like a truck.
Yeah, whatever he decides to shoot, it has to find value. We are down to just 4 minutes remaining, which means that time is starting to become of the essence. I think these guys have about 1 minute and 30 seconds to work with. And finally, Easy starts to go ahead and seize the mana break. And sure enough, 2 minutes and 30 seconds is going to be the difference maker right now. But FLC, they're trying to make something happen with a toxic ult, but that is going to find no value, doesn't delay anything. And now they're going to be in a straight up 2v3 up against Alliance, who are trying to end things here in match number 6.
Brilliant plays from Alliance thus far. And great timing. FLC, by the way, Salawa was on the Aluru. So they lost quite a bit of that zoning and recon that you can get from using Aluru. Yes, an engineer, but the Aluru rocket's great for recon. Incendiary's great for zoning. Well-placed nade actually puts somebody with broken arm. This is just going to be such a tough fight for FLC to take. Not even the fight, to get to the brick. Look at their setup. Alliance feels very confident that this is the only team left on the map.
What can FLC do to actually make something happen? They do have a couple of smokes in that toxic, so they can actually deny some of the angles that Alliance are playing. You can see they're fully set up though, right? I mean, Lynx is kind of playing for that flank just in case one of the members of FLC try to get a little bit tricky, but Brian kind of walks up, places down some of the gizmo utility just to go ahead and buy themselves about 10 to 20 seconds. But yeah, they're just going to sit here and stare at the wall. Remember, the motion activated traps from the side of Alliance, right? They have the Shepherd, they have the gizmo, so all of the information from them can kind of just come in from the movement of FLC, and finally the play comes out. It's going to be on the back foot of the toxic ult.
Trying to make a play all the way in. Alliance forced to back off a little bit. Not going to be holding the first door, but all they care about is positioning around the brick. If this gets stolen, by the way, I don't think anybody will get it if FLC die grabbing this steal. It's going to reset to 2 minutes. Alliance, if they want to win, they have to win in the next 20 seconds right now, and they've got a great hold thus far. Rouse has got to make a play. Got to snap. Got to win the gunfight. But you got to get there. You would need 1 second. Kobe's got to knock. Grind goes down. No! Over peaks. Lynx. They get it! Alliance with the wipe. Alliance with the brick. In game 6 this time. Today, Alliance have closed it out. They started at the top of the leaderboard, and they will finish there as well. What a turn of events. They do it without a Tempest. They grab the brick immediately on spawn. They sprint here. They go down to 1. Utter chaos around the map. They're able to get all the revives and an incredibly smart play. This wide flank to take down Salawa ends up winning them this engagement, ends up winning them this scrim and this tourney. Very well done from Alliance. Incredible ice in the veins to get that second brick. They will be your champions today. They have done it.
I think one of the coolest things that you said was that they were all the way down to 1. Remember, it was only Easy who was left alive after all of the chaos happened on the initial decoding station. But he was able to go ahead and carry Lynx to a safe position, get the res, and then they went ahead, they pushed back Team Gotaga off of the body that they needed. He found the res onto Grind, and then after that, man, they were just too steady, too steadfast for anybody to go ahead and contest them on the decoding station. FLC tried, Team Gotaga tried, all the other teams tried, but it's going to be Alliance on top. 2 Mandel bricks secured, and they're going to be winning things out here today.
Huge congratulations to Alliance. Well-earned victory. They were so strong yesterday as well and just barely missed the mark in the last 2 maps. This time, didn't leave it up to chance. We're able to clutch it up and get both bricks, and we are ending right there. We will not be playing map 7. A great effort from all of our teams, Vivid. I had so much fun watching that. I mean, even teams down at the bottom of the leaderboard put up insane fights, caused so much chaos on the map, made us think twice. I mean, that last map, dude, the replays are going to look ridiculous. Killsaw literally had an Alliance player standing on his head while he stole the mana brick at the decoding station. Like, big shout out to SSG, Spacestation Gaming. They will assuredly get second with the amount of loot value that they had and their total points, of course, tying with Team Gotaga, who had a brick as well. But even still, man, just unbelievable job from all of our teams. These are just scrims, man. I feel like I'm casting like grand finals of Rise series right now. We're having a blast with these scrims, and this is just the tip of the iceberg for what will be the entirety of season 1 of the Rise series with all of these teams and many others as well. Let's take a look back on that map and how it all went down. Talk me through what you're seeing, because I don't know, we say the word chaos a billion times throughout the course of these competitions because that's what it feels like when we're observing and watching these games.
Chaos and bravery, man. We saw Grind on the Gizmo just kind of run down to that initial spawn, pick it up, and start all of that said chaos that you were kind of talking about for Team Gotaga. They were trying to make something happen, but SSG kind of continued with their prowess in terms of finding so many kills around the map, which we will see in full story when we do go ahead and take a look at the leaderboard. But you could see so many members from so many different teams trying to go ahead and dive onto the decoding station. And this was the moment, by the way, Easy could have probably hit like 2 or 3 shots right there and would have ended the competition way earlier.
So close, man.
You know, thankfully he's able to go ahead and reset and find the res as necessary. And by the way, you kind of mentioned some of our teams towards the bottom of the leaderboard. It's just all on the back foot of Team Nadeshot, finding this great push onto Team Gotaga that actually interrupted the decoding station that kind of saved the game.
Yeah, it saved the game and unfortunately gave Alliance the win. And then when they were in a full 3v3, this is the moment. We're going to try to get an interview, I believe, with one of the members of Alliance. And if we get that interview, I'm going to ask about Grind's flank here. Did he know that if he took down the Aluru, they would go, they were off timer. They didn't have yellow timer. They would full die, because that won them this game 100%. Once they got, I mean, they could have still won the 3v3, but look at Kobe shooting beams out in the open. Almost could have traded that out and maybe FLC had a chance. But then Alliance win the gunfight in a 3v2. They hold the line, they get the brick, and they even take our special tournament extraction. When a team gets 2 bricks, the map says it's time to leave, gentlemen. You've done your job. You heard the music playing. So very fun moment there for Alliance to experience that in a scrim. But that's gotta feel good, especially after the heartbreak for them yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely. As a quick reminder, you know, they were the first team yesterday to go ahead and pick up that first mana break. So that's why we kind of, you know, mention it as something that felt like they should have won yesterday, because they were the team that were picking up so many kills yesterday. So a little bit of a bounce back today to go ahead and take home first place. But when you kind of take a look at how they placed average, I mean, they've got to have the best average placement for sure. You got to imagine. So Team Alliance, I feel like they've been the most consistent over these past couple of days, and it's great to kind of see them get their win here today.
Yeah, it's a good shout. It's also worth mentioning, too, a big shout out to all of our teams, because we played a cross-regional scrim. We've got teams from both the Americas region and the MEA region. So some folks are playing on high ping, which is also a feat with how well everybody played today and how fun some of these engagements were. And I know during the Rise series, it'll be all Americas together and then EMEA together. We won't meet until LAN, but still, it's cool to see kind of these cross-regional teams compete against each other and put on these show matches, showcasing what the Rise series will have to offer in both regions. Big shout out to all of our watch parties as well as we calculate the final scores and double check all of our work behind the scenes. We know for sure Alliance has won, but where did everybody else fall? Big shout out to Gotaga running the watch party right now. Hopefully you guys are having fun over there. I've been having a blast in the booth, and Team Gotaga looking really strong. Reminder, they did win yesterday in dominant fashion in the last 2 maps against a lot of these same teams. So very fun stuff with Gotaga, and glad he's a part of the show. And then of course Team Nadeshot joining us for the first time today. Good showcase from them. Ended up not having a perfect or great day necessarily on the leaderboard, but had some amazing heroics from guys like Slept, big huge individual plays. Still got a lot of promise there from this team as well. This is just scrims, folks. We're not even into the Pro League yet. A lot more to come. Now, as we wait on our leaderboard and our interview, it's time to reward you all for being here. This is going to be our last giveaway of the day, folks. Code's on your screen right now. Type in July 10th. Why would you type in July 10th? Well, that's how you enter into the giveaway. But it's also the beginning of the Rise series. That's going to be our first day of competition in our group stages to kick off the Rise series. Literally 8 days away. I can't even believe it. It's finally here. And this is the beginning of that, showcasing it here at Scrims. Type in July 10th to enter into the giveaway. With that, you're going to earn potentially some tickets and also some premium passes. July 10th, you can spam that away. Once our interview starts, if we have it, that's when you'll need to stop, okay? I'll remind you in just a little while, and we'll whisper you a little bit later after the broadcast is over. Let's take a look at the leaderboard. Vivid, walk me through what you're seeing. We know Alliance won. Where did everybody else fall?
Yeah, taking a look at it, this is just the Game 6 results, by the way. Alliance picking up 8 kills in that game, kind of returning to the form that we feel like we saw them in yesterday. They're going to go ahead and gain 13 million assets and 14 squad points. But who cares about how many kills they got? Who cares about how many assets they gained? Who cares about how many squad points they got? The only column that matters right here is that Alliance were able to pick up a mana brick, which is, of course, the second one that they were able to do so over the course of these 6 games. Obviously, we do want to give a quick shout to SSG, who have just been so consistent in these past couple of games with their kills. But let's go ahead and take a look at the overall leaderboard and go ahead and give them their official shout out. Alliance in first place. Go ahead and win the show match today. Double mana brick to go ahead and end the competition early. And I think to nobody's surprise, we're going to see Spacestation Gaming there in second place. They were able to pick up a monstrous 49 total squad points. And then, of course, a big shout out to Team Gotaga, our third team that found themselves one of the mana bricks of their own. 17 squad points, so not necessarily doing as good in that category. But again, all you need is that brick, and you find yourselves towards the top of the leaderboard.
That's a really good shout. I mean, this is just, in general, a fantastic competition. And I'll give one more shout out to both Team Gotaga and Spacestation Gaming for picking up their mana bricks and therefore being top 3 today, but also Space Station. I mean, can we talk about the squad points? What's going on? 32 kills in 6 games? My goodness, you guys were fragging today. Congratulations, gentlemen, on second place. But Alliance, your big champions today. And unfortunately, we won't be getting an interview with Alliance. They unfortunately can't hop into the interview with us. They said they ordered cameras so that they could do interviews, but the cameras aren't there yet, okay? Oh. So I shout out the Alliance team. They're getting ready for the Pro League. Unfortunately, not ready for us today here. It is just scrims after all, and they would just talk a little bit more about their strats. But a shout out to the full Alliance roster. I want to shout them out. Easy, Lynx, Grind. You guys crushed it today. Go follow them where you can find them on socials. You'll see a lot more from them throughout the course of the Rise series. Alliance has got a special team, and I'm excited to see how many waves they could make in the official Rise series in just 8 days time. But with no interview means it's time to stop the spam, folks. Our winners have been chosen, and it's also time to start wrapping up the show. Vivid, final thoughts on the broadcast, man. Scrims are a banger.
Yes, they absolutely are. I think coming into today, the one thing that I was expecting was that I felt like our teams should just play a little bit better than they did yesterday. And I feel like we saw exactly that, which makes me super excited for July 10th. Like you mentioned, the competitive season is going to be kicking off then. And you mentioned it 8 days away, but that's 8 days that these guys have to potentially go ahead and practice. So hopefully they're going to be in full form then. And I'll be excited to kind of rejoin these guys in the server and check out what they got, what they've kind of prepared for, and how much better they have. But yeah, over the past the couple of days and the past couple of competitions that we have ran, every single team looks so good, and some of these matchups were just so close. The fact that they're going to the distance, game 6, game 7, means that the season is not going to be a stomp at all, which means it's going to be entertaining, and I cannot wait.
I agree, Vivid. It was great having you yet again for another scrim. If I don't see you until the Rise series, I will see you then. I know you're going to be a part of it, so it's going to be a lot of fun to cast some of that action, and maybe we'll have another scrim between now and then. Still 8 days to go. Folks, that's Vivid. Definitely check him out. The guy's the GOAT when it comes to Delta Force and casting. But listen, I had a lot of fun with you all today. Thanks for tuning in. This is, again, just the beginning of the Rise series, just the scrims between different teams from different regions. You've got to check out Rise series. So I do want to remind you, if you do want to stay up to date on Rise series, there's a lot of info out there on socials. So if you'll drop a follow on the esports specific socials as well as the official channels, you'll get a lot more info there. All of Delta Force socials, they do have some esports channels, not only on YouTube streams, but also on the social channels on Twitter. So go follow DF Game Esports on X or Twitter, and that'll get you some more info about the Rise series and what you can expect from both of the regions that will be happening at the same time starting on July 10th. But until then, I believe we've got some creator events happening over the next couple weeks. We may have some more scrims here on broadcast next week. Stay tuned to socials, drop that follow so you can be up to date when we will maybe doing some more giveaways and also a chance to see more incredible competitive action here at Delta Force Operations. But folks, that's all I've got for you. The last reminder, as always, is thank you. We couldn't do it without you, the viewer. So thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week, if not sooner, for more Delta Force action. Easily. Alliance are taking this very slow, patient, and finally finding the angles. Down goes Slep. It's gonna be a tough fight, Vivid.
Yeah, absolutely. Honestly, it's usually pretty hard to go ahead and push this building, but FaZe is having no trouble doing shots. But I think on the way out here, they should feel pretty confident. Oh, great.
In zero damage, which is a bit surprising, and he gets it. That's the second kill. These are well. Even still, they've got extra weapons. They've got FaZe's gear on them. This is a big fight, and SSG have a huge advantage. They're still going to have to get through Team Gotaga if they want to extract. But Spacestation Gaming are going to...
So they're going to be fully aware of what is ahead of them. Killzone just going to be running in right there. He's
the win condition, folks. And here comes Team Gotaga coming in a little bit late to the party, but they're going to be actually first to strike blood. Can Team Gotaga do it? Can they steal the brick? They're going to have to stick it, but they're going to get barrel stuffed by... We thought they maybe got out of dodge, but getting flanked from multiple different angles, and unfortunately...
Right.
No way.
When is he going to peek?
He's late, but Util's popped and they're all stunned. They're all staggered, and he gets one. Can he get two? Gotaga and FLC are fighting not at the extraction. Means they only have to worry about one angle.
Defensive. Oh, a little angle here for Skies. Oh my God. Take a look at this. Killzone just be waiting in the wings here. Snow is going to be running right into the cross.
About to make a play for the brick. Slow creeping, but in the meantime, Alliance in trouble. Easy. They had to get to a position where they could play for the brick on respawn, but they couldn't. Oh, what? Okay. Move first. SSG get one. Kobe's able to answer back. It's trades back, left, center, forward. Knox, a smart play. Hide in the closet. Make sure you stay alive. And he's
the chaos. They were able to go ahead and find the res, so they're a healthy 3-man right now. But Smile is trying to get active. He had and fake the heal.
Oh no!
But on the back side of things, finally FaZe joins.
Changed this fight, but unfortunately, I just don't think there's enough. This guy's wait. Fight's going on right now. FaZe was the first to actually strike blood, and then Alliance was able to strike them back now
and push through this area and see if we can make something happen. But Nox is going to be running through the.
Rick, I know we want to see what happens between Alliance and Team Nadeshot, but this fight matters so much. Kills as well. Starting off, Salama goes down. It's going to be a 3v2. SSG full peeks the corner. Sky team's in the area. A lot of teams that can shoot them, but no SSG find the angle. Team Gotaga. They think they're going to go for the Tempest ult, but they're in an engagement. Alliance is trying to barrel stuff them at the line. It's through the smoke, sprays and prays, and they're holding the line. He's on top of the enemy.
But oh my gosh, he walks in just a little bit too early and Slep disarms himself and two members of Team Gotaga.
In it, full send. A slight misplay maybe got them weak, and that allows Easy to come up.
I think these guys have about a minute and 30 seconds to work with. And finally, Easy starts to go ahead and sees the mana break.
Grind goes down. No, over peaks, Lynx. They get it. Alliance with the wipe. Alliance with the brick. In game 6 this time, today, Alliance have closed it out. They started at the top of the leaderboard, and they will finish there as well.